must be without your help. The station of decapitation.
All right, we're live here at the station of decapitation without your head. I'm Nasty Neil, and I'm joined by Melody K of Round the Decay and a lot of cool things. It's very good to have you here.
It's appropriate. It's why I got the role, really. Like Adam will tell you.
Like it fits.
That's it.
So, well, first of all, along those lines, for people who don't know, you haven't been acting for 20 years, and when you get contacted by Adam, like, first of all, what is his pitch? What does he say to you?
Okay, so here's here's like the whole shebang. Initially, he was one of my fanboys. Like, he's a lot younger than me, and he had a crush. He would watch Camp Nowhere, which is on Disney Plus. Had to slip that in there. And the role that I played, like, it became a cult classic. Like, it completely tanked when it came out because Christopher Lloyd had like Angels in the Outfield and Camp Nowhere, and they're like, oh, which one are you going to promote more? Yeah. So, needless to say, his parents were like, dude, you like destroyed the VHS, you know? So when he was wrapping up Everwinter Night, which is amazing. I have the worst ADD. I sat through that whole thing. It was incredible. He literally was sitting there with like, you know, his guys like going, yeah, it's like the 90s are back, man. Like, what if like Melody K was like in the movie? Is she still acting? Like, does anybody know? Lo and behold, I had just gotten divorced from an amazing man. We have 4 beautiful kids, but it was time, you know, like the wonderful man that I partnered that he was like, it's the 90s. You're like a child celebrity. See what'll happen. And I'm like, okay, well, I lived under a rock for 20 years, so I have no idea how to do any of this shit. And I literally spent an entire night just like Reddit, Twitter, the Instagram, Facebook, the whole thing. I got contacted by Adam like 4 or 5 months later. And he wrote me an email. Mike Mascheroli is the man that I'm with. Mm-hmm. I said, I need a manager. I'm a celebrity. I have to have a manager. Like, be a manager. So he was. And, you know, like I completely played it off like, yeah, you know, yeah, I'll do that for you, you know. And inside I was like, oh my God. Actresses 20 years later don't get parts like, you know, like this. And we joke about it now, but like our first face to face, I was terrified because I was like, well, he's gonna realize like I'm a lot older than he thinks I am. And said he was just so nervous that he didn't even know. Like he was like, so that's how that came about. Like I got a dream role. Teresa is the quintessential middle-aged woman dream part. Like she has an emotional moment. She's evil. She's like disclaimer. Like I'm trying not to spoil her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's complicated. Like Adam had her set as like a model from we don't know how long ago, and you know, without spoiling it, she's a very complicated, interesting character. So it's one of those like to get that role even if I had continued acting my whole like 20 years, would have been amazing to get it when I haven't. And, you know, yeah. And he had like full faith in me. I kind of created this character of Teresa on social media 6 months before we even started filming. So I edit. That's like another passion of mine. So it built like my fans that I've had, diehard fans, loved her. And so when I got to New Hampshire, every time I asked Adam, like, so what do you think that he's like, just do it, do it. You're her. You're already her. Just do it. Yep, just do it. So, you know, it was it was something that will never happen like that again. And I will cherish just the whole thing. My whole life. It was really cool.
Well, that's nice to hear. And are you a horror movie fan at all? Like,
Oh, yes, that
oh, good.
is okay. I am that person who the entire filming, I roomed next to the room that they don't go in, that they lock up, because there was a man who was found dead under the bed.
Mm-hmm.
I loved him. He was wonderful. Like I would be freezing to death all night long. Swear, I would come in the room and the heater would be on. Like, true story. When we finished filming and I got back home, I called, and I was like, so I'm missing like makeup brushes and a scarf. So they went into my room. They looked, nothing. I said, I'm going to need you to look under the bed in 217. And they were like, oh, and the dog wouldn't go in there. Like, and my brushes and my scarf were under the bed in a room that no one's allowed in. Like, so it was pretty cool.
Yeah. Any experiences making the movie? Because from what I understand from Adam, some of the stuff's filmed in caves, so it's some weird locations.
Well, okay, so my character, we kind of did the entire spectrum of Teresa, like, and then I left. Teresa is not in the deep cave.
Mhm.
Now she's very much so associated with it, but she's not in it.
Yeah.
But I did stand in, I don't even know how cold it was. And Adam was like, well, wear like socks, like these ugly stockings, like a dress and shoes. And I was like, no, I will freeze. And I did. But it was worth it because it would have looked ridiculous. I was like,
Yeah.
no, I'm not wearing
Yeah.
socks. Like, no, no. Um,
Being cold is temporary. The movie
I
is forever.
loved it. And I
Yeah.
will tell you, I have such a high tolerance for like pain or whatever, like fear, like all of it. It was to have like my passion back and to be amongst, like, needless to say, my people again,
Mhm.
because it had been a very long time. It was an emotional roller coaster for me. Like, on set, I was, it was now behind the scenes. I was going through, like, when you're married for a very long time with 4 kids, and then you have somebody else that you're in love with, and then like my soap opera life kind of all came like to a head while I was there, but it worked for the role because there's a scene in which Adam didn't know how that scene was going to go. Like, and I call him number two. He's Adam's assistant director. Hi, number two, I love you. Um, other Adam, that's the other name for him too. He's the sweetest thing ever. He said he had asked Adam a million times looking at the script, like, so why does she say that? Like, there's like this one line that's so out of place. Well, when you watch it, I just lost you. Hold on, my AirPod.
No
Jeez
worries.
Louise. My little AI person that lives inside my ear.
All right.
There you are. You know it's true. Yeah. So it was. I don't think I could have had the experience I had if I wasn't going through the stuff I was going through, and if I hadn't like missed where I was at so much. Like I wanted it so badly. And it's been a long time for that. So I was like, literally, I was like, I'll stay. Do you need me to wash like toilets? Like, please don't send me back. And yeah, I helped with makeup. Like I was like,
Oh, that's cool.
you need me for something. Because it was heaven. It really was. Not that like my
Well,
kids or my life is
of course. Yeah.
amazing, but you
Yeah.
know,
But so
yeah.
we talked a little bit before we went live, about before you work on big Disney movies and now it's
Oh Lord.
independent film. And
Mhm.
I assume like when you're working on a big Disney film,
Mhm.
you don't get the chance to help with makeup. Or so what are just some of the differences? Because it does seem, and I've been on sets for some stuff and worked on stuff.
Yeah.
So it is a communal feel. So I can tell that you felt that.
Oh, it wasn't okay. So I always like tell this story. Like, Adam's like in the middle of filming. He's the director and writer of this entire production, and I'm screenshotting him earrings that I think would be good for Teresa, and he responds like, and I'm going, what? Like a Disney production. In order to communicate with the director, it's like 5 ADs before you get to like, and I was telling you, unless you did something wrong, then they're like, okay, Kay, come on, like that sucks. Like let's like do that shit all over again. No, they didn't talk to me that way. But and then you're dealing with like when I did Never Ending Story 3, with Jack Black, which was I was so in love with him. Mind you, he was like this tough, skinny, like aloof rocker guy, like not funny. Oh, sorry, Jack, but I love you. But no, sexy, yes, but funny, like no. That's like a whole nother thing. But I had a very good relationship with my director in that, but that entailed like my mom was my manager, so that entailed like Peter taking my mom and I to a dinner to discuss my character or whatever. Like it wasn't like, hey Peter, excuse me, are you filming? Hey, I gotta, and whose trailer was bigger, like the stupidest shit that by the time I was old enough, I was also going back and forth and doing Broadway, which is how I started. That I'm in love with, that I will have in my heart to the like that is real art. That was like nobody's complaining about really, really stupid shit. And it was a complete art form and a craft, but I was bi-coastal. I was 16. I was in Hollywood. So I altered my whole like appearance or whatever, and that ended all of it. Like they didn't want a blonde bombshell for Melody K. It was like, no, you're like the smart one with like the, like,
Yeah.
so yeah. So I was like, you know what, I need a break, and then decided to have kids, and then I had a lot of them, and they're amazing. So
What was it that made you want to be an actor to begin with? Was there a certain movie, actor, anything?
I was 4 years old. I saw my cousin Jennifer in Carousel. Hi, Jennifer. And she got all this attention, which she always did because she's gorgeous. And I said, "Yep, that's it. I need that." That I was like standing on the chair, going like, "No, I'm me. Hi, like I'm in, um, self-centered, yes. Selfish, no. Self-centered, yeah." And I, I, I was like, "Please, mommy, please." My mom is if you took another human being and physically made her opposite, emotionally made her opposite, and mental everything, like she was like, oh, like she is not like, the stage mom thing was not her gig. Like she's like, yeah, I don't care. Like, okay, let's like we'll live in a cart. Like, why are we fighting about this stupid? You know, she's just love of my life. Like, she's my everything. But I'm a fighter. She's not a fighter. So it took a lot for her to let me put myself, even to this day, like I had called Adam one night or messaged him, because I do vlogs where I run my mouth like this obnoxiously. You've seen them, or people will actually watch them, and I'm like, okay, I might pick my nose, like I'm not really aware of what I'm doing, but okay. And she was like, it's just so hard to see you put your soul out there. And I was like, that's what I do. That's what all good actors do. You don't own any part of you. You are volunteering to allow other people to feel through you or with you, or so you have to be able to handle the fact that there are people who are going to hate you or think you suck or if you're stupid or whatever. I'm like, I went through that worse with PTA and kids than with acting. I mean, you know, I showed up in a bikini at my old, like the place that we lived in, and that was the end of everything. They're like, no, yeah, she's a mom, she can't do that. I'm like, I'm in the South. I forgot.
So, yeah, when you said earlier about Broadway is like it's an art form, your one of your passions. Do you still do theater plays at all? Theater acting?
I mean, I legitimately the divorce was finalized like 3 years. It'll be 3 years, and through that whole, like, I have not done any theater. Now I'm open to it. If anybody's, I'm still in touch with all of my Broadway friends, and I can't just up and move to New York. If I did, I'd be in a show. Like, I have every connection you can, but I can't. Like, I have 4 kids that are brilliant and like not entitled brats and in really amazing schools, and with a father who can support them. And we share, like, it's almost, some days like, it's like what I always did, like, take them to school, blah blah blah, like, so we're different, I will tell you that. But my whole life is unconventional, so yeah, I can't go. I can't just like up and go for a Broadway show, but a movie I can go because it's a couple months or even less. Round the Decay was not even 2 weeks, and my manifestation dream, I annoyingly harass like Adam about it too. Like, this got to continue, like every couple months, let's just do another one. I love horror. I'm villain. I don't think I can play a non-villain now. Like, it was the most therapeutic experience I've ever had. But
had you ever played a villain before Round the Decay?
Nicole in Neverending Story was a brat, and then becomes nice, but never, not anything like Teresa. So I do believe too, Adam, I auditioned for something on my YouTube. You can see I'm like a vampire type character in it. So that's, I don't know what that says about me as a human, but as an actor, quite enjoy
you're on
it.
a show called Without Your Head, the Station of Decapitation.
There
So
you go.
fit right in.
Exactly.
You're totally fine here. Yeah.
Yeah, you would have loved behind the scenes because you
Mhm.
know, like my baby, that might be another spoiler, but is like unbelievably gorgeous young supermodel thing, and she couldn't eat in her shit that she had to wear. You
Mm.
know, that's as far as I can go. And I was like, Fred buzzer. I told him like, put a buzzer on me. Like if I say something stupid, that's a spoiler. Um, but I would like, and I also didn't have kids, so
Mm.
I had to take care of something or someone. so, so I would like, I would microwave her food and feed her, and she's like me. She could like, she'll go on there and like be like, I'm gonna eat a French fry. And 8 million views. Like, okay. I vlogged myself going to Walmart today, like, and my stepfather's got to be like, you could just call, right? Like, yeah.
You get anything good at Walmart?
My outfit,
No. Well, yeah,
I am
perfect.
not gonna lie, $12.
Yeah,
$12. And you
looks
can't
good,
beat
and
that.
I appreciate wearing it here. So,
Let's pretend it's Gucci, and you know, my future sister-in-law is gonna be like, "Yeah, you don't say that. You should have said it was." I was just kidding. I love you, Kara. It's my girl.
so, Round the Decay is going to come out around Halloween, from understand. So, are your kids going to see Round the Decay?
They're the most self-aware little humans ever. Like, I've got the youngest. No, nope.
Mhm.
She's like, show me the pictures that you want to show me. I don't want to see you die. Like, she's like, I'm too emotional for that. And I'm like, right on. Okay. My boys, because I am a teenage boy on the inside. Like, I relate to them in a way that moms should not. I'm like, you don't want to be in their head, but okay, I kind of am. They're so not complicated.
Mhm.
And they're all about it. My oldest daughter has had 3 feet out the door for about 5 years, and now she is in college. She may or may not be in the country right now. I'm not sure, but she's she's she knew where she wanted to go. She's flown, you know.
Mhm.
And I don't know if she'll watch it or not, but she'll definitely like. She's a performer too, so we hook each other up. I'll be like, yeah, I'll watch your thing. You know,
Yeah.
yeah.
How about your mom?
My mom.
Is she?
Oh yeah, my mom will watch it. My
Oh,
mom
okay.
will just be like, oh, brush it under the rug.
Is she into
No,
horror movies? Your
no,
mother?
I.
No.
You know what? Okay, God, like she loves comedy stuff, and she likes like habitual comedy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But she can handle anything. She could watch me in a horror film and it actually be happening, and you know, she'll like, okay, well, but you know, um, she's not an emotionally driven person, so yeah, she'll swing it.
All right. So,
Yeah.
you had mentioned, someone in the movie, which can't go too much into, has a lot of makeup on them. They can't even eat. So, do you deal with any makeup in the movie? I know you can't spoil it or anything, but any effects or makeup?
Um, I have an edit that I did. I did get to work with the like, you know, Greg and Skyly are they were epic. That's as far as I can go with that.
Hmm.
I did get to indulge in having like some work done. Oh, okay. La Belle Vie, Wilmington Medical Center Drive. Leslie did these puppies yesterday. If you're in Wilmington, people, I have to like that's and I have her number. She's gorgeous, by the way. She's single. So she's gonna kill me. But man, can she do an amazing lip. Love you, Leslie.
Well, that's a
So
good shout
anyway,
out. Yeah, yeah.
there you go. So I don't even know what I was saying. Like that was five
All about
seconds
makeup
ago.
and effects, and you got into lips.
Oh
So
God,
that's
I
good.
had like the it was just the best time ever. Like
Mhm.
I had Marianne who did the makeup. Her and I were inseparable. Like, and I do makeup outside of acting. Like that's like my other passion, which stemmed from having my makeup done, you know, in the studios. So she had a huge fucking cast. And so I did my best to like make sure she didn't like disappear, like chop herself into pieces and put herself in a trunk or something. So yeah, she was amazing. Marianne
Yeah.
shows, that's her Instagram. Yeah. But you know, the special effects you will see, that's all I can say.
Mhm.
That was the
So,
first time I got in trouble was I posted something with Rachel and I like, and man, did that get to me real quick. Like they were like, no. I was like, sorry.
is that hard to
Meaning to.
deal with? Because, you know, you do this stuff, you're proud of it, which is great, but, you know, and you want to share it. And I also assume that's the difference between
Are you
stage
kidding? Nothing's
acting
hard to
and
deal
a
with. You can
movie
be
is
like,
stage acting
I
is
need you to
immediate.
pick your nose
No, I'm
and like
sorry.
wear it as a hat and be like, okay, that's on trend right now. Okay, perfect. Got it. Like, yeah, not, I felt very terrible because like I'm impulsive puppy, like around everybody else except for my own children. My children like do not realize that I'm far worse than they've ever been their entire life. Like every time they've impulsively wanted to do something and I've been like inside, I'm like, yeah. So I
Is
had to like tone that back.
that one of the differences between you know, theatrical acting on the theater and making a movie, because you have the immediate reaction, you know, from the people?
No, I can honestly say that is what, yes, like in the past,
Mhm.
absolutely. Independent filmmaking, I was telling Carrie, who a dream, who's also in the film, you know, we spent like an entire night talking. He's done a ton of theater, and this felt a lot like that same family
Mm.
vibe. And I mean, I got a standing ovation for my death scene. Like, sorry, Adam, my big scene.
Right.
Yeah. Anywho,
The scene that your youngest child shouldn't see. Yeah.
this, there you go. But I did. I got a standing ovation. Like everybody who had a really big moment in the film got a standing ovation. Like, which I have never seen before. I also had my husband in the film was like grip, like through half the movie.
Yeah.
Jamie, I love you. He's beautiful. He looks like my ex-husband,
Oh, really?
and
Interesting.
he looks he when Adams. Oh my god, when Adam sent me his picture, I was like, Adam, are you trying to get me arrested during this film, or you know? Jamie can transform himself. You would have no idea that, like, when you watch it, he's a man, like not a pretty man, not a like he runs the show. He's creepy as fuck. It's great. He can become anything, and that blew me away immediately because
Mhm.
I'm not gonna lie, like I saw the picture and I was like, Adam, yeah, no, it's not gonna. I mean, he's beautiful. I'll take him, but like, I think it's gonna look a little weird. No, but it worked out. So that's
So
that.
you mentioned, you know, when Camp
He
Nowhere
is
comes.
in a
Oh,
bunch of
sorry.
the stuff that's out there too.
Oh, okay. Is that
Hmm.
Damien
Okay, go
Buffet?
on.
Yeah.
Uh, he is not. No, do you ask if he's in Camp Nowhere? Oh
No,
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 no. I was.
Damien.
Yeah.
No, Jamie Default. He is my very pretty
Right.
boy toy slash husband.
Mhm.
He has an absolutely gorgeous girlfriend, so and very talented. I'm not going to spoil it, but
All right.
you'll see her. But anyway, Damien, I would love to work with Damien again. There was like this kind of, like, we both had a status, I guess you could say, on the set. Mine, which I knew I had nothing about, because I didn't even know I had fans for 20 years. Like, I had no idea that I was still like some pseudo stupid celebrity crap. Damien's the real deal right now. Like, he is everywhere and amazing. I think we spoke like 3 words to each other through most of like the entire thing, but it worked so well. And then Adam had me like switch, and you'll see in the scene, like, that's another spoiler, where like it was a moment, like, you know, because I think he's amazing, but we're also actors, and we're also like, there was no way I was gonna be like, oh, you're so great. I'm like, and really, I'm like, oh my gosh. So
yeah, Damien's going to be on the show sometime in the near future, so I'm looking for that. But yeah, he's in a lot of stuff, so I'm happy to see him in Round the
yeah, he's
Decay. I always like
fantastic.
him and stuff. Yeah. And what I was asking about Camp Nowhere, because you said a few times, like, you know, it comes out, it doesn't do well, and now like you find out,
Right.
you know, it's got this following. So when do you actually find that out? Was it doing Round the Decay, or
Okay.
is it when you first get online?
No, it was when I first got online. So I was just telling my friend Marty here. Yeah, she's my neighbor from across the way. She's amazing. I had, like, when I separated, I legitimately had to completely, as us actors do, pull another character out of my hat, because that one wasn't working anymore. So I'm like, okay. And my very, 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 very best friend in the whole world, Michael O'Neill, aka Mississippi. Well, he's the most talented, most beautiful drag queen, and an insanely amazing actor. I pretty much lived with him for like 3 months. We were like the odd, like gay guy MILF, like, couple, like,
Yeah.
and we would sit out there and we would smoke like 18,000 cigarettes, and he was like, okay, so you like, I don't know why you're not, like, but this is what you need to do, because you can be famous and then I can ride on your coattails, so like, we need to make this happen. And he was absolutely right. Then I call him Mike. Like, he introduced himself as Mike. It was like his new business thing, which he is a big shot, but everybody else calls him Mickey. And when we started dating, he was like, okay, so you're on Disney Plus, but you're not doing shit. Like, why? So it was like the 2 of them, just that was all that was coming at me. So I was like, fine, you know. There we go. And yeah, so that's how I had no idea. Like, when I got on my Instagram, I don't remember which one it was first, and the first thing it says, is Melody K dead? Wow. Like, and the people literally, stories upon stories of, I was like, well, that's a good one. Well, that's boring. It's like, no, I know, but yeah. So that really, it was life altering. And then I actually got a call that night from, I can't remember his name right now. He's going to kill me. He's not doing social media anymore anyway, but he's a musician who wanted me. He was like, they're all like these, usually like nerds like me, that have followed me for years, and he's one of them, and he's a musician, much younger. Like, they all act like Adam acts like he's like, I'm like, you were like 7 when you were like, you're doing I like when I watched the podcast, he like acted like he's all. I know, Adam, love you, but no, like yeah, it was sweet, but anywho, so I hope that
Yeah, no, I
answers your
understand. But
question.
you mentioned that Christopher Lloyd doesn't really plug the movie and stuff. So, what was that like for you though at the time? It's a big Disney movie and it doesn't do well. Is that is that hard to
It
deal with?
was really, really hard. And I don't blame him at all. Like he's the producer of them, and he's the name in them, and he had to switch. Like it's not an easy gig. Like you make a lot of decisions that no matter what you do, you're gonna hurt a bunch of people. Like you're fucked either way. So know that. Like actors out there, like we said, you're putting yourself, your soul, everything, you're just out there on a platter. Um, he did what he had to do, and he had to back he backed the right one for that time because it was the only emotional intrigue, like wraps you in, like boohoo, oh amazing, we were like a bunch of like reject weirdos like in a camp half naked, so um it wasn't its time, but it was. Anytime you look it up, it's right there with what like National Lampoon. It's that same, it became a B movie cult classic, and a very weird experience. I will tell you that.
How so? How is it? Making the movies weird? Or
Oh, it was a fucking nightmare. I hated it. I love it now. I'm very, very grateful. I never watched it. I went to the premiere, lost my virginity, and
at the
it was
premiere?
the worst night ever. Ever. Not in the movie theater. Don't get too
All
excited.
right, all right.
But no, but that night, like, everything scarred. I was like, life is just not what it was supposed to be right now. Because like we literally were put on like the Today Show, and the four of us were like the next big thing. Then we were absolutely nothing. Like I think Andrew and Marnie, like Jonathan became, I don't know, some religious something that at least is not quite the cult that like Andrew ended up with. I don't know. Yeah. And then, Marnie, who was actually, she's a beautiful person. She's got a huge heart, very talented, but I learned the hard way, when you look like that, it doesn't matter. Like I emulated that. I was like Barbie or Playboy or whatever. So when I got older, I got my boobs, like platinum blonde hair. There's only one type of role you can play with that. That's it. Like you're done. That's not like that gets old. That's not devious enough. That's not conniving enough. She doesn't kill people. Like she's like, oh my god, like yeah. I did like 2 sitcoms where I was the dumb blonde, and it was like, okay, you know what? I'm retiring. I'm having kids. Peace. Well, that's the way it happened.
Mm-hmm.
So
when you decided to leave, acting, did you ever think someday I'll go back, or did you think, this is it, never going back here again?
Okay, so this is like the conversation that my man and I have a lot. I am I'm a grandiose narcissist, okay? Like self-centered, not selfish, self-centered. And I have an absolutely delusional self, like every president, every hero, every villain has a delusional sense of self. Like somehow you think that you're going to change the entire, you can lift a car, like
Uh-oh. I've lost you if you can hear me. We lost Melody. I'm sure we'll get her back here momentarily. Melody, if you can hear me, you went, you faded to black. I'm going to text her over here. Just bear with me for a second. We'll get her back. See to black. I might play a trailer here. Hopefully we can get her back on. I don't know if she can even see me, but we cannot see or hear you. Maybe Adam's like, there's just too many spoilers here, and he's like jumping in. I don't know, but we'll find out here. Or maybe this was just too personal. She's like, I'm gonna get out of here. Let's see. Do I have Around the Decay? Yeah, I'm gonna play the Around the Decay trailer, and hopefully we will get. Oh, actually, I think Melody may be coming back. No, maybe not. I'm gonna play the Around the Decay trailer, and hopefully we'll be back with Melody K.
You're in shock right now, but you're safe here. I know that you're exhausted, but I'm going to ask you a few questions. Is that all right? What happened?
What brings you to the valley?
The mountain?
It is my pleasure
Come take a look at this view!
That is alarming.
to introduce you all to a new resident of Newport's Valley.
Leave the valley before something really terrible happens.
So the rest of us wanted to get away, so we went to some cave.
Did you see something?
What is she doing? She's supposed to send us. What was that?
Scared?
It's all right. You can scream now.
Hey, there we go.
Hey,
Yeah. I thought
They
we
put-
showed the trailer while you were
that was
gone there.
perfect. Well, they put my favorite line that I say. You don't see me, so you don't you don't know. You won't know till you see the movie. But it like smack dab in the middle of the trailer. I was like, nice. Made me very happy. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, welcome
Like, I
back.
can't see my face, and you can see my back like 18 times, and my hand. But I'm there.
All right. Oh yeah, I saw the hand. I was like, oh, that's a very nice hand.
That's
there.
Melody's hand. That's
Yeah.
a K hand right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god! That, it's funny. My 10-year-old daughter called, and I'm on like my
Oh,
phone.
okay. Yeah.
So my phone has like literally like my little AI person that lives in it that
Right.
keeps me company besides Marty or because my like fiance is out of town, and it like the stupidest thing, like somebody from Chapel Hill who wants like medical bills will like call, and the entire thing goes to shit. Now I should be using my MacBook, but that would have been like responsible. So
Yeah. Well, I remember back in the day when I had dial up back in like the year 2000,
oh
you
god,
get a call to the rotary phone at home and it would knock
yeah.
you off the internet
I was
altogether.
one of the last people in LA to have a pager. Like, I hated pagers. I hated when people would walk around the gym. You didn't know if they were fucking talking to you or not. So you're like, hi, yeah. Oh, wait. No, okay. Yeah. Because they're like exactly what I do now. Like, you see me, it may or may not be the voices in my head or my AirPod. Like, nobody will know. Or both. But I'm that idiot. Like, in line at Aldi, like the grocery store here, like the amazing guys, like trying, hey, can I help you? And I'm like, yeah, well, like, oh my god. I'm that asshole, but
Uh-huh.
what are you
I,
gonna do?
I don't agree with that. Yeah, but so you're out in LA. So coming out,
No,
I'm in
no,
New
I'm not.
England.
I'm not currently, but
Oh, okay.
I spent quite a bit of time there.
All right. So I just
Yeah.
wondering how cold New England was for you. I'm in New
Oh,
England.
I loved it. And my hi dad. I call my stepfather dad. Like I really like when he's not here. I call my biological like Frankie, because everybody was Frankie. Um, he complains because he's still in Detroit, which is where I was born, and he's shoveling snow like as if like that's a problem. And I'm like, well, I'm sweating to death and I'm gonna fucking kill people. So like, can I trade you because I have hot flashes? Like, I'll lay in that snow. You can shovel me in it. Like, but
Yeah, you can
yeah,
do snow angels. Yeah, make a
I
snowman.
am such a cold weather person. Um, Way out of my element. I'm also an actor though, so like I can enjoy all things, but you take me to cold weather and I'm like a giddy, like, this is great. Everybody else is like, but that's not gonna happen because when you procreate as many times as I have, you have responsibilities. But maybe Adam will film something somewhere with like Glacier.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Well,
That would
Adam,
be
if you're listening, yeah, we need a glacier film. I
that
don't
would
know
be
if there's been too many. I don't know if there's been a horror film set on a glacier.
well. That now it shall begin.
Yeah.
Yep, I
Yeah.
love it. Yep.
So, uh, I mean, you mentioned Adam a few times, obviously. So when he first talks to you and he said he was like a fanboy. So what do you think going in to meet him? Are you like,
Okay. Well, and
is
I
this a
say
real movie or is he just,
right,
wanting to
right,
meet
right.
me or?
Well, and mind you, like I hate using the terminology fanboy now that I
Sure,
know
sure.
him, and he just got married, and like, trust me, like there was no fanboy once we like actually met. It's like, wow, yeah, you people do age, don't you? Just kidding. Um,
I'm sure he didn't say it that way, but
no, he didn't. No,
yeah.
no, that was what was so funny is I literally kept saying to him when we would message. I never met him. He offered me the role before I met him. I, it was just completely off of what I had on YouTube and Camp Nowhere. No pressure. Um, so I told him, I'm like, I need an unfiltered conversation with you. Um, Without my, all this like, and I was a wreck, like an absolute wreck. But I had to pretend like I was doing him a huge favor by being in his movie. Like, God, it was so funny. And he was so nervous to see me and to be there talking to me. And I asked him afterwards, I was like, God, I was so nervous. He's like, oh my God, me too, and that was that. And I've pestered him so many times for like, I'm like, don't tell anybody that I have insecurities. Like it's between you and me. Cause my brand is like tough bitch. But was I okay? Did I do okay? So it was it was a very different experience, and I don't think I'm maybe intellectually ish what he thought, but like I'm a live wire, and Gabby Nowicki was not really a live wire, so I was a lot, but everybody handled me well, so
Yeah.
it was
And it
amazing.
seems like you obviously would like to work with Adam again.
I would like to work with they are a family.
Mhm.
Um, like Jay Varnish, like, and I never know, I'm not sure like if I'm saying it exactly correctly, but you want to talk about like a jack of all trades and then some, like you do like we need you to do a circus act and then we need you to like feed us like 18 sandwiches, like all different orders, and then we really 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 need to make sure that the scene that you're in, that you're the lead in, is going to get done tonight. And he's like, okay, like how, like it's crazy, but they do it. They've done it. I embarrassingly did not know. Hi Sean, I hope you're watching. I love you. Sean Ward, he's the pockets of this film. um I have no filter. I just thought he was the nicest guy ever and a really good actor because he was in Everwinter. So I'm having all these conversations with him. No idea that like my paycheck is going to come from the gentleman in front of me, which is probably good because it wouldn't matter anyway. I am who I am, but um, he's so cute and he's so like he would never tell you. He's not gonna be like, so yeah, so when we no, nothing, not a word. Like, and everybody else would be like, that's like the producer. I'm like, oh no, that's me, foot and mouth too, like all the time. But
So I wonder, you mentioned Jack Black on Neverending Story 3. So,
oh my god, yes, you cutie patootie. He was so aloof and like he's like the James Dean of the set. I'm not kidding. Like all of my like NES3 people can attest to that. Like when we saw like when he suddenly was like the hugest comedian in Hollywood, it was like what? And who is that? Like to me it's beautiful because as artists what we do, it's our therapy. It's our way of coping with who, what, when, where, and why. And if whatever that is we're going through or who we are, what is happening at that time can reach a whole fuck ton of people and move them in whatever direction it is, that's what we do. And that's what he did. And he's amazing, and made me laugh. And I'm like, oh God, he makes me laugh too. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm a big
Girl
fan.
crush,
I
girl
was a big
crush.
fan of Tenacious D, before he really blew
That
up.
was, I mean, that was the one. That was the one where, like, I recognize, of course, because he used to play. That's all he did was play guitar. I played guitar too, and I always wanted to play his guitar, but I was too scared to ask. It's like traumatizing, like just going, "Here's his trailer." um, but and with Jason James Richter too, who he's back in the film industry. He was an inspiration for me because we did that film together. He was the shit. Like Free Willy had just come out. Everybody was kissing his ass like upways and sideways, like to the moon, whatever. And he was like the most down to earth kid. And we had so much fun on that set. That set was amazing. And like I think he had the same, maybe not like the fantasies I had of Jack Black, but he had the same. He was very fond of him too, like because he's a musician. He has his own band. So it was really really cool, very different. Like not at all what you would expect from him, and that's always a cool thing.
Yeah. How about the puppets themselves? Because there's all kinds of cool puppets on Neverending Story 3, or all the
Okay.
Neverending Stories. So what was that like to work with big puppets?
Amazing. I mean, it was Jim Henson Productions, so
Or Muppets, I should
the
say.
absolute best of the best. But voiceover actors went on strike. So when you watch the film, it's the actual stunt people saying the lines, not knowing that it was ever actually going to be in the film. Like they're supposed to say it and then the actors come in and dub like the whole thing. That didn't happen. So there are quite a few, like, told you I have no filter. There's quite a few scenes where you're like, wait, what was it? Like, not good. Like, but it's very expensive to fly people all the way to Germany to do voiceover work at that time. Now you just take an AI, which they're trying to do, which I voted against. So they don't have to bring you out there. And that's a whole nother can of worms. But, back in those days, they didn't have that. So Peter was like, yeah, we're going to just keep that terrible line right there because I can't afford to fly fly people out to Germany to do it. So
Well, since you brought up AI, what are your thoughts on AI all
oh my
around? I mean,
God.
I have friends
Okay.
who.
So mind you, the love of my life is a technical engineer. So we don't necessarily see we both have helped each other balance like the AI thing out. Because as a woman in this industry, like ultimately, be like, you know what? You're all Karens. We're just gonna recreate all of you. Sorry, Karens that are out there. But you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
we'll just make them. Because like nobody wants to hear lip from a woman. Like, shut her up and she'll say, like, hey, hi, here's that. Be done with it. I'm pretty passionate about it. But I also believe 100% that like to exist is to change. You don't exist, you never existed if you didn't change or you weren't with change. So if you fight it, then you're
It's there.
screwed.
You're not going to stop it
But it is all,
from
it's like
existing.
raising kids. See, like
Yeah.
I have 4 kids. I never looked at my kids as like appendages or like I had them and I'm like, okay, you're you, like go be you, let's do you, like and that's kind of um the same thing. Like you have to accept the fact that like you can give them a specific like foundation or a nucleus, but they're all going to be different people regardless of how amazing or whatever. If you follow them up the monkey bars or put SPF 50 on them their whole lives, like they're gonna be people. That's all I have to say about that. There you go.
Fair enough. Were you around Christopher Lloyd at all? Well, obviously you're around him, but do you have any like stories like
No,
interacting with him for
he
on Camp
was
Nowhere?
not. He was very talented, but the adults had nothing to do with us. If we weren't in a scene with him and like what was her name, Wendy McKenna, I think, or what? The other adults, like all the adults, we literally might as well have been like a pile of hay that was making them sneeze. It was like, ugh, okay, bye. Like that, nothing to do, and I don't blame them. I mean, I never really liked kids either. But then I had 4 of them, so I like them now. But I found us quite annoying. I'm not gonna lie. So, and it was all hormones, and everybody's fighting over this and this and that. And Christopher Lloyd's like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna go to my trailer now." Like, yeah. So that was that. But he was great. But no, I don't think I ever even actually had a one-on-one conversation with any of the adult actors in Camp Nowhere,
Mhm.
which is
So,
crazy.
now that I assume where you're talking, you have the itch again to act. Doing it again.
Oh,
So,
I can't not now. Like,
yeah.
hi, like I just please don't make me play a mom because I played that for the really long gig with that. So, um, no, but oh yeah, I am. There's no turning back. I was given when you're given like a miracle that doesn't happen to anybody, like the 90s coming back at the same time, um, getting a role that is like a principal role without traveling or it just when that happens, it's like God, whatever you want to call the entity that is like upside the head, like hey, if you don't take this and run with it, you're an idiot. So so that's where I'm at.
Yeah. So, what you said you don't want to play mom? What kind of stuff would you like to play? Obviously, a villain.
Oh yes. Oh my gosh. She's manipulative. If she's conniving. If she's mean. If she can be a vile, like just whatever, anything that I really enjoyed the horror film atmosphere. Like,
Mhm.
I really think that, and it really caught that, like, I have a huge sci-fi fan base because of Never Ending Story. So once this movie hits in October, I can start going out and autograph signing and all that kind of stuff. So I'd like to think, because I'm big on manifesting, that like B movie horror film independent, like, fill in for life.
Yeah, and I go to the movies, almost every weekend, and besides like the giant MCU movie stuff, that's what people go to see in the theater are independent horror films.
Okay, so if you asked my like love of my life / manager, he would be like laughing right now because he can't get me to sit through anything. He'll be like, "Hey, did you see that?" And I'm like, "No, no, no, didn't see it. No, Color Purple. What? Like, yeah, no, I didn't see that." But um, I'm terrible. Like, but I'm not alone. Like the shuttle ride or the van ride, like where Jay was driving us. None of us had seen anything. Like, we're all like, "Did you watch it?" No. Did you? No. So I guess it's a thing for us. Like, we like to do it. We're just not like, we live our lives acting. So watching, it's like, okay, yeah, no. Plus having 4 kids, trying to like co-parent, new parent, these 4 kids, college, acting, the all of that is it's a lot. But if I watch anything, it's horror films or serial killer stuff. Anything about serial killers, I am sorry, don't know what that says about me, but that's
Good
like our
things,
that
good things in my opinion, but
I
I don't know.
absolutely love. I mean, I was gonna be a psychiatrist. Like,
I
I
think I was just about to say I was going to be a serial killer, but
oh
no,
no
I
no
see.
no,
Yeah,
that's
okay,
that give me a little time first, because
okay.
I want to get a couple films out first,
Sure,
so
sure.
my legacy like lives
Yeah.
on. Um, but but when we watch like serial killers, like a lullaby for bed. I but it, hey, I have a Quora page that I discuss having grand narcissism, and like, you would think that I just admitted that I killed puppies with like tweezers. Like, they're like, oh, I'm like, yeah, no, like, I'm actually like nice. It's just that the whole world does revolve around me, but not in it, like, I suck at everything and I'm ruining everything. That's how the world revolves around me. My whole, like, it's so it was really, really cool starting that, because people ask me shit that you would not believe. And I'm like, not a doctor, just crazy. So disclaimer. Um, yeah, that's what I got on that.
Coast here in the chat, he wants to know, I've always wanted to know why women like serial killers so much.
Okay, and it that is a newer thing. It all has to do with like the movement of ailments that are being recognized for women. My ailments I enjoy, so I'm not changing them. But uh, it we were supposed to like continuously be like, oh, that's awful. I mean, I got 4 kids. Like, I should be like, oh. Instead, I'm like, so what do you like? What do you think that he did with the? I mean, nothing phases my kids at all. I can say anything. They're like, yep, yeah. Like, um, it's a different. That's why it's a beautiful time to be an actor at this time, because things that of course, I've dealt with, like, I love because I love psychoanalyzing people. I will psychoanalyze your dog. I will psychoanalyze like his car. Like, you drove it so many miles and it needs.
It's
It
like
didn't.
Son of
It
Sam here,
didn't like,
talking to
but
his dog here.
and
Yeah,
remember that time with your ex, and that, like, that is why it's, yeah. I'll psychoanalyze the cup. Like, it's who I am. So that's why, like, and I think, like, because when I was diagnosed with ADD, I had already been put on like the most hugest cocktail plethora of like meds because I mean I got 4 kids and I had like hormonal issues and it's way too fucking many. Like I can't even wait tables. So staying home during COVID and suddenly like I'm a housekeeper and a teacher and can't leave the house. Yeah. I started smoking. So somehow we got through it. Like there was so much good that came out of it too. But where was I going with this? COVID. Well, we got COVID, but yeah. I'm sure you get what I was
Do you have
getting
a
at.
favorite? I don't want to ask if you have a favorite serial
Oh,
killer.
we were
That's
talking about
strange.
serial
But
killers. That's right.
yeah,
What
do you
was
have a
that?
favorite serial killer, like a show or movie or anything?
Oh God. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like I know it was quite controversial. Which made it even more amazing. It's not a woman, but it was Dahmer. Like that. Of course, like I thought he's hot, so that is very disturbing. Okay, I'm just gonna put that out there. Like I was like, oh, he's sexy. Wait, no, he's no. Why?
Jack Black and Dahmer, the two. Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Well, I mean, my man like is just as into serial killer stuff as I
Oh,
am.
okay,
So
all
I've
right.
met my
I thought
match. No.
I thought you were gonna say he's just like Dahmer. I was,
No. No, actually, my ex looks more like Dahmer than he. They're both beautiful, okay? Like I'm just
Yeah.
like, but polar opposite. Like, but I love the actor who and I can't remember his name who plays Dahmer, and that's what's always gotten me in trouble. That's why, like, I don't like I forgive and I move forward because I'm a why person. So like I could like you could just oh you killed somebody, okay, so let's like look back and see why you did that. You know, except for infidelity, like that's all. Like when you do that, that's like that's the no, it has not been done thus far. That's my only breaking point. So I put up with a lot of like I'm a white flag waiver. I'm like okay, fine, yep, because like I know why. Like I know why we're having the fight. I know like the whole thing behind it, and I'm like, okay, do I like want to be right more than I want this person, or do I want this person? And I'm like, I want this person. So
Have you ever been to the Museum of Death? I think it might have closed, but it used to be in LA.
no, God, I've been I went to I had friends like in LA who did some pretty awesome, really like disturbing art and stuff. And like, but not that, but you know, really cool stuff. Like I thought was cool. Anyway.
Yeah. So Annabelle, who was on the show when Adam was on, me and Annabelle, when we were in
Yes.
LA, we went
Yes.
to Museum of Death, and I recommend it. Some of my
I would
friends are
love-
not into it, but
Oh God, well I'll go. Neil, let's go.
Yeah.
Like I'm ready.
Yeah, so the first room is all actual artwork from real serial killers, and it's
No
it's
way.
very cool. Yeah.
That's one of the coolest things I've ever heard. That's crazy.
Yeah, some of
Is it
it's very
still there though? Did you say it's still there?
Yeah, I
Or is
think
it's
last time I was there, it had closed, but I don't know if it was closed forever or if it was
Well,
just,
I
you know,
mean,
temporary
okay,
spot.
so serial killers like just skyrocketed within like the last 2 years. So if
Yeah.
it was closed, I'm sure it because like now you've got like 18-year-old like girls like with like amped up Botox face. Like it's not that like I got my lips done, I know, but I'm old and I don't have Botox, so like I'm winning. But they're like, oh my God, I love serial killers. And I'm like, good, because they're at your door. But you just don't know because like you are perfect for this.
Yeah, so if
Sorry.
anyone wants Melody, I think that's a perfect marriage here, is a serial killer film starring Melody Kay.
Yes. I mean, they don't like there. What was there one? Like Charlize Theron played
Yeah,
like the
we
like
can make
that.
one up.
She was
Yeah.
like she was that was like so not multi-dimensional, like or eerie. It was like she was really got fucked up. Was really fucked up in the head and like killed guys, which I get. Like I completely destroyed like all the men in high school or boys in high school. I didn't kill them, their ego, yeah, but like so I get it. Like she just took it a little further, but
Yeah.
yes, I would love that. Would be fun. Adam's like Adam's probably stopped watching by this point, but
He might be into it. I don't know.
no, Adam's cool. Sean is so I have to call him. Like I swear, I really think he thinks I'm like absolutely like a menace to society, but I wasn't on set. Was good. I was a little emotional. Had some emotional issues, but
Yeah, it was your return to acting.
oh my
So I would
god!
assume that would be-
It literally fell within the most confusing hurricane of a world, like that. I was living like 8 lives, so it was like I got away and I was like actually able to be me for like a week and a half. It was a very odd time. Things are as normal as they get for this actress. So
So do any of your kids, like you said, some of them are online and
oh my
do
god,
any of
they
them want to become
all
actors?
yes. My youngest. So this is a funny story, and I doubt she's watching, but I have to show her because I was hoping we would bring it up. So we're at the doctor's, right? Like she's got like strep, you know, and she's sitting there, and she's like all like, and then all of a sudden she just looks at me and she goes, "Did you get me an agent yet?" And I was like, "What? Yeah, did you get me an agent yet?" I was like, wow, like that there she that star is born. Like that is yeah, when you're like on your deathbed and you're thinking about like, and yeah, she has, my kids are I love them. I don't think of them as kids though. They're like my people that I have a blessing to have like had something to do with, you know what I mean? Um my oldest, like she got scholarships like 5 universities.
Oh, congratulations.
But she worked her ass off. Like she was that kid as a young dancer that I looked at her, it's her godmother too, but like the instructor, Andrea Hill. And I was like, yeah, I don't think that this is, she kind of sucks at this. Like, I don't think, and Andrea was like, let me have her. I don't care who, and everybody knows I don't blow smoke like up my kids. You're either great at something or you're not great at something, or everybody's got something. Like, she makes me cry the moment she gets on stage. And she worked so hard for that. Now my youngest has kind of what I had, where like she's still at that age group where they don't really do shit. Like they have like a hoop. But she steals like the whole stage. She's big, like radiant personality. Also, when you have that, you've got the downside of it. So like myself, when we're great, we are amazing. When we are not, we are a handful. So I think it's all part of it.
And where could people so if people do want to reach out, like if for a serial kill movie or for whatever it is, where would they find you? Where's the best place to reach you?
My Instagram is probably my most connected. I have a lot of fans that like are based like there. IMDb Pro. My manager, like he is my manager. You can reach Mike Matcheroli. And don't know his phone number by heart.
You know
But
that is weird. When I grew up in the 80s, and I still remember a lot of phone numbers from when I was a
yeah.
kid.
Oh, I could tell
But
you my
I don't
mom's
know
phone number
anyone's
from
phone
like
number today because it's
1998,
all
but like
it's
I
yeah,
can't tell you
it's
my
just
own
on
phone
the
number.
phone now. Yeah.
Yeah. But IMDb, Twitter, Melody K22. I do keep my Facebook as separate as possible because like I have boudoir photos and like, like I'm a big fan of controversy. So I try to, because a lot of people have their kids, they don't even know what their kids
Right.
are like looking at, they'll be
Yeah.
like, oh, look at she has boobs. Yeah, hi, that's me. Yes, nice to meet you. So if I could like keep that part,
Sure.
my own sister like sent me, like I read her thing and she was like, you think I'm a straight shooter? She's a straight shooter, and she was like, yeah, there's like kids on here, right? Like basically, like you fucking idiot, like don't put it on your Facebook page. I was like, yeah, totally, right on. But Twitter, that's that'll give you like uh just more of the stuff I don't have to worry about, like keeping it appropriate or whatever. So, and I did have a link tree, but like, and I should have YouTube because
Mhm.
I vlog, but instead I just put my vlogs on Instagram, and I mean I only have so much time in the day, so like, yeah, and
Yeah.
my
That's what your
my YouTube,
manager needs to do. He needs to post this stuff up on YouTube
he is, yeah,
and TikTok and all of
I
them.
know, yeah, trust me. Well, like as of the last couple months, I believe it or not, like you look at Instagram, you would think I live in like some kind of mansion, like Malibu. I am broke. Like, um, you know, things happen. The
Mhm.
money, lots of money that was made, doesn't always make it to this point in your life. So Mr. Mascheroli has taken complete care of me. So like if he misses a couple YouTube, TikTok like things, I'll let it slide.
It's all right. All right. I was just joking around, but yeah.
No, I know.
Yeah.
No, he'll love it. And I'm trying to get him into acting too, because he's got that something. Um, he has a scar on his face that it's a very painful story, and he's very
Hmm.
sensitive about it. But it is the sexiest part of him. I'm like, I'm not going to tell you that a million times, but like your face that. So,
Yeah, I mean that adds characters.
oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's why I'm like like obviously chain smoke and don't drink enough water, and I have clients because I do skincare and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Um, and they're all like, oh, I want to look younger. And I'm like, really? You want to look as stupid as you were like in your 20s? Like, why? Uh, you know, um, I always wanted lips. So I got my lips from La Belle Vie. Other than that, I don't, and my boobs are fake, but like, that was like, I met Marilyn Manson like the same week that I had these done, by the way. It's a fun
No,
story. Yes,
just
he was.
coincidentally, or yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, I lived in like that's Dr. Fisher did my boobs. They
Uh-huh.
were molded after Brooke Burke, who was his wife at that time. So,
Hmm.
and we had like the same build. Um, and then like a week later, we're in Studio City, my best friend and I, and we're walking, and this like adorable, nerdy, really awkward, almost Napoleon Dynamite like character walks up to me, because I was going through like I've gone through every phase. So this was when I had black hair and my vampire look, and he's like, "Excuse me, do you know where a bookstore is? I need to get a book for my nephew." And I was like, yeah. My best friend was like, "Who's that?" I'm like, "Idiot."
Who's that?
I knew. It was cute, very, very cute.
Yeah, I
Um,
like that he was just looking for a bookstore for his nephew.
yeah, oh yeah, oh he's a
Sweet.
complete like. It was also like Gene Simmons used to come into my I met my ex-husband at a restaurant in Studio City, and Gene Simmons used to come in like every other day, and coolest guy. You would have no idea, like, and of course, like everybody would. Eventually, there'd always be that idiot. I'd be like, "Okay, you stick your tongue out," like Jesus fuck. Can he just have like a fucking cup of coffee and okay, like, go get a photograph? Like, no, he was really, really. It was cool.
Yeah.
So
Well, I'm really looking forward to Round the Decay. And from when we had Adam on, he said they're going to be playing somewhere in Boston. So I
I'm
hope to
so
be there.
we already have tickets. Like our tickets are already. My manager and I have tickets. I mean, part of the production.
Yeah.
I, just I'm tickled just to see everybody. I mean, it was just like that much of an amazing experience just to be there, even if it was like a grip. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I can be a plumber too, like I do it all. But I'm just saying, like, I loved being a part of it. I really did that much that I did drive Adam crazy at the end. I was like, do you need this? Can I stay for 5 more days? Yeah. No, you're cut, done. Go home. Like, fine. But, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. And when more information is out where people can see it, we'll share it on
Yeah.
the show and the website. And I hope to be at the premiere. It'll be a good time.
I love
And
it.
and after I get to see it, I'd love to have you back on and some of the cast, and maybe we
Yay!
can do a second one.
It's so fun. Rachel and I would love to do a thing. We did a lot of like little like old, young, tall, short, like and we're both highly inappropriate. Like I literally told her, I said, look, you are amazingly talented, you're gorgeous, you're charming, and you have that something. Don't you ever let anybody take that something away from you. You better hold on to that because they'll want to. And her dad, like, like I went on his like live show, like he's got like his like Italian guys, Catholic. It's just fun. So we would have fun.
All
It'd be
right.
awesome.
Definitely. Well, this was very nice. I had a great time, and I'm glad you came on the show. And I know it's your first podcast, so it's very exciting for me.
Yes. Oh my gosh. This was like when I was like introduced to like serum for like skincare, like after 17 years of living. I was like, why do we need or primer or whatever? I'm like, what? Now I gotta do something else? Like, no. But I love it. This was amazing. And it was really, 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 really fun. And I didn't get a hold of John Westcott, who is Bottom Feeder Photography, he did all like the photos I do the edits for and stuff. So I just wanted to give him like a shout out. So
Oh yeah, definitely. There were great photos that I used for the banner, and thank you for sending them. And
so cool. I will cherish that. I'm gonna frame it. Like it was
cool. Yeah,
awesome.
I appreciate.
Thank you. Yay.
Yeah, thank you.
Mwah.
And then congratulations on the movie, and I look forward to seeing it and more from you.
Yay! I can't wait. Love you guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. I have no idea how to get out of here.
I'll kick you out. Just otherwise, it's awkward.
See, yep. All the yep. Party foul.
Right. It's not working. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Otherwise, it is awkward. Annabelle always makes fun of me because I'm like, it's hard to say bye and just kick someone out. She's good with that, like just kicking someone out. But I'm like, I just feel too nice because I'm just a really nice guy. We're gonna play some trailers, and then momentarily we'll be back. But we're gonna be here the whole time. But by the way, Annabelle cannot be here tonight. Troy is having some car issues, so he can't be here tonight. But then we're gonna be joined by Michael J. Epstein, Jeremy Long, and Alex Perez, and we're gonna talk about Severin Films Super Shock Pop-Up Film Festival 2024 triple feature. They're going to review this. I wasn't there, but they were, and we'll talk to them. But let's see. We're going to start us off with Slasher Days of Summer by my friend, my buddy, my pal, my amigo, Ty Chaman. Really looking forward to this one. It's going to be premiering at Amazing Fantasy Fest. So that's very cool. Here we go. Slasher Days of Summer.
Are you a teen troubled by society? Feeling like an outcast or just plain down in the dumps? Well, I'm here to tell you that there's hope for a brighter future for you with us here at Camp Sacken. Hey kids, Camp Director Billy Thatcher here, and I'm here to invite you to Camp Sacken. Camp Sacken, slay your old self.
Whatever, get eaten by a bear then.
Speaking of scare, do you know where we are?
Just hear you do it.
I'm here to help you, ladies.
This isn't funny anymore. This isn't just some cheap, scary movie.
Jesus Christ. The cursed soul of the Nowhere Killer is still with us today.
Fuck you, Elliot! Oh.
Oh, hey, sorry, I was texting. I'm not wasting time here. I was actually texting people about Arbor Day, the upcoming Without Your Head feature film by myself, Terrible Troy, and Annabelle Lecter. We got a lot of big news. Michael J. Epstein is now going to be shooting the film, cinematographer. We have people involved like Michael St. Michael's The Greasy Strangler, Bill Wheaton from Sergeant Kabuki Man, Dan Yeager from Texas Chainsaw 3D, and a lot of other people I can't announce quite yet. Just wait. Well, Paul Ellers, he couldn't hold himself. He's like, I'm going to tell everybody. That's right, Paul Ellers from Mad Men 1981 will be involved in Arbor Day. It's very exciting. The Monday, the official launch of the campaign. So we're putting together a very cool video to promote the film. I'm trying to get everyone involved, so everyone's filming at different times. We're getting all together. Julie Hapney, effects artist, so it's going to be a good time. All right, so that was Slasher Days of Summer. Looks amazing. Next up is a film that's been out for a little while, but I love it, and that is 1BR from my buddy Alok Mishra. And we're going to take a look at this. And it used to be on Netflix. It was the #1 movie on Netflix, but it's still out there. And I really recommend finding it because not only is it a great movie, but the sequel is in the works. So watch the trailer, then go watch the movie after tonight's show and get ready for the upcoming sequel to 1BR. We are joined here by Michael J. Epstein.
Hello.
Hello, it's good to see you.
Good to see you as well. Yeah. I enjoyed your interview that just happened, so that was a fun one.
Yeah, she was very cool. It was very cool to see I was really happy that she's really excited to get back into acting and seemed to have a great time on independent film.
Absolutely.
And, because someone worked on like quote unquote big films back in the day, and she's she likes like the community aspect of working on independent film.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool.
I am looking forward to not just because she was here. I'm looking forward to Around the Decay.
Yeah, should be a fun one. One.
There's very little. I like that they don't say too much about the movie.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I know that they've compared it to Pumpkinhead, which gives me. I assume there's some kind of big monster,
right?
Yeah,
with a pumpkin head.
With a pumpkin head, right?
That comes when you do something bad.
When you kill children. No,
we kill children. I don't know what causes Pumpkinhead to come back. It's like if you commit some kind of bad act, right?
So he really asked the Lance Henriksen him,
for revenge, right?
Yeah. It's actually a good story. All around. I'm a big fan of Pumpkinhead.
It is.
The sequels.
I've never seen the sequels, so
yeah.
on my list. On my list of sequels to watch.
It's a really great witch in Pumpkinhead. When people talk about like great witches in movies, it's not a huge part in the movie, but I think it's a really well done witch. It's an overlooked witch.
Too true. Too true.
And if Troy was here, I would make him do his. He does a great impression of the witch.
Very good.
I like to just put him on the spot and just make him do impressions.
Sounds good. I have no impressions of the witch for you, so
All right.
I can't fill Troy's shoes, unfortunately.
Yeah. Troy, having a car. We were out. We won't go into it, but his car just basically stopped. It's actually parked outside my house at the moment, so hopefully they can do something with it tomorrow. But I felt very bad. But
I hope he's doing okay, and I'm gonna post the. I just want to make sure I post the link to this, so that people know that. And I know Jeremy and Alex will be joining soon. But I figured I'd show up early a little bit, and we could talk about if you'd like. We can talk.
Yeah, definitely.
Talk some Arbor Day and some Smash, because we're doing the gradual release of the Once and Future Smash and End Zone 2. For anybody who has been following along, we have it available on some platforms. It's coming out on more platforms. The Blu-rays are in the mail. They're supposed to be arriving at our place in about a week.
Oh, that's very exciting.
And then we'll be mailing them out. Sophia and I will be packaging them by hand. And so if you think like there's an army of warehouse workers or something like that,
Right.
just me and Sophia folding boxes and packing it, wrapping it in bubble tape and sending it over to you. So our DNA, unfortunately for you, will be on everything that comes out.
Yeah, and it's been really special for like lots of reasons, but 5 years, I guess 5 years, 2019, when like the idea came about, and then we filmed End Zone 2 and started to film a few things for Smash, and then everyone knows COVID strike, all these things, but then it was a great time playing at the festivals, and now the masses are able to see it.
The masses are able to see it. Yeah, yep, absolutely. And we just today, for anybody who wants to live the experience of being there with us, there was so Neil filmed a lot of behind the scenes material during the filming of End Zone 2. I think there was almost 30 hours or something like more than 20, I think less than 30, but a lot of hours. So we went through that and cut it down to what we thought might be interesting. I mean, there's probably more that's interesting, but cut it down to a reasonable size. And the shortest I could really cut it initially was 4.5 hours. So I kept that for a second and then realized there's no way that's going to fit on the Blu-ray, because part of the point was for this to be on the Blu-ray. And we just couldn't fit that much material in the Blu-ray. So what I did is I made I think it's about a 2-hour cut that went on the Blu-ray in the end. I decided some scenes to remove from that. And so that's going out to everybody. But because we have that 4.5 hour cut, we just decided to release that today on YouTube. So if anybody would like, they can go to our YouTube page, and you can watch 4.5 hours of behind the scenes where we show kind of the filming of a scene, and then we show the actual scene from the movie. So you can see the experience of making it, and then you can see what it looks like, in the actual film. And we do that for maybe 6 scenes in there. I'm not actually sure what the count is. I did this a couple months ago, but it'll be interesting, I think, for people who want that experience of being on set, and for people who are curious about how films get made. What goes into what you actually see on screen, how we get there.
Yeah, well, for me, it was my first being on a feature film set, and so it was interesting for me to see like how a director actually does direct something. So like I had the idea of what that means, but not until you're actually there do I realize. So it's like here's point A with just they're reading the lines, and that's fine, but then you can see it like, well, try it this way, and you can see how that actually changes the scene completely from take A to take D or whatever it is.
Yeah. And the cast for End Zone 2 is really excellent. They came really prepared. So it wasn't that was easy directing in that regard, because I've been on sets where I've directed on sets where there's been more work to do, where the starting point isn't quite the actor isn't quite has a different interpretation maybe than what we
Yeah.
intended, and so we have to go through and think about it. The cast was good. It was just more like we were going for a very unusual, because this is supposed to be 1970 that came out, made in 69, I guess, and we were going for a very naturalistic style, which everybody did a good job, practicing that and coming up with that and thinking about it. But then we have to remind them, like, don't do the things that you're used to, where you like leave a little space between lines for people. Like, those are things that usually you might do on set. You don't step on each other's lines. I'm like, step on each other's lines, really just run on top of each other, because we want this to feel like very naturalistic. And we kept referencing like Robert Altman movies, where you've just got like a room full of great actors who are kind of like just talking over one another, and there's not really any distinction. I think there's probably elements of improv in that. Oh, we didn't really have elements of improv so much, but we we worked with the actors to try to achieve that kind of feeling. And I think they, like I said, they came prepared and came already doing a good job. So it wasn't like the first take was, if we had made the movie with the first takes, honestly, it would have been fine.
Mhm.
But we could get it to somewhere that was more like what we really wanted by pushing that, and just saying, like, just go against your instincts and step on each other and just butt in, and don't be afraid of doing the kinds of things that you might be told not to do on other shoots.
Yeah, and kind of what Melody was talking about in the previous interview, it's like the community feel. So, we rented a place to stay. We all lived there. And I think that comes through when you're watching the behind the scenes footage.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody was staying at the location, just kind of hanging out. And it wasn't, I mean, I don't know. I don't think we even shot that long. I mean, every shoot is long hours to some extent, but I don't even feel like it was like, oh, we weren't doing like 20-hour days or anything like that. It
No,
was
because there was a
pretty
lot
low-key.
of, I don't want to say, just a lot. It was also days, not days, but there was times where we're just hanging out and talking with everybody.
Yeah, yeah. So it was overall a pretty easy shoot, I think, and we did it in only 6 days, I think. So, and then we had one little pickup day with just Trista later. But yeah, I mean, so they came prepared. They did their job, and it was a fun time. And so you can live 4.5 hours of that of us in 2019. You can hang out with us in 2019 and see what we were doing.
Yeah, I was happy that I was watching some of the footage before the show. I didn't have 4.5 hours to watch it all, but I will watch it all. But it was it brings back memories, and I was happy that the footage came out better than I imagined it was going to look in my head, because I just do my camcorder, and not always with great lighting depending where we were. I know the scenes were lit, but depending where I was. But no, it looks really good, and I think the fun and the passion of everyone involved comes through, and so I hope people dig it.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, so anyway, everybody can watch that. They can also watch the Once and Future Smash and End Zone 2. They are both on our YouTube channel. End Zone 2 is on Tubi and Amazon. The Once and Future Smash should be on Tubi and Amazon any day now. For anybody who is not involved in independent film, we have a surprisingly small amount of control over release dates and like when things actually show up. So like we submitted materials to Amazon, I think 70 days ago, with a promise that as long as we did it 30 days in advance, it would be fine. And now we are day 70, and it's still under review, final review and everything. I mean, it'll come out eventually, but they're just still like QCing it or whatever they do to decide, like, okay, we can release it. And Tubi is a mystery too. It actually was accepted by them and submitted. Once Future Smash was actually sent to them and accepted prior to End Zone 2. But for whatever reason, End Zone 2 was released first, and I don't know. So someday it will appear. They don't adhere to our
Off air. I asked Michael, Sophia, I was like, do they tell you maybe beforehand, like, oh, it's coming up, and Michael's like, no. So both of us are probably the same way. Every day I go and check, and I just search for Once a Future Smash and see if it's there. But
a lot of times the movies come out on Fridays, so I'm kind of hoping that it might come out tomorrow.
All right,
it's due to come out soon. If it's not this week, maybe next week. But
and I've been really happy with the reviews I've seen online. We got reviews when we're at festivals, but now I'm starting to see people like I know. More people I've known have seen it, and to see them pop up on Facebook or on social media, and it's like, oh, this is cool. People seem to really dig it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been going well. been it's they're niche films, and we were kind of surprised. We're like, these are maybe films for a very, very small audience, and I think they've played well for a bigger audience than we expected, which is great. No complaints about that. So yeah, so we hope you might want to check those out. They're also, I should say, they're also available for purchase on Vimeo, and the Vimeo version is uncensored because we had to censor. If you've seen the movie, you know what scene. I don't want to spoil anything. We had to censor it a little bit, and by censor I mean there's just something covering part of the screen, which is the way it's done. I think it's humorous anyway, so it works. It works for the movie. No scenes are extracted from it, though. I'm saying the runtime is the same. Everything is the same. But we had to censor it for certain streaming channels so that we could make sure that they would give it proper placement and not hide it, and not hide it, not well, it wouldn't be able to be on YouTube with monetization, and Amazon sometimes hides films that have content that they don't like. So we're trying to make it available in every form, but also make sure that the distribution works well for it. The Blu-ray will be uncensored, or it is uncensored as well. So you can purchase that on our store at shop.launchover.com. The Blu-ray is available now for pre-purchase, for pre-sale. It will be shipping. If everything goes well, it'll be shipping by the end of next week. So I think in like a week, we'll be shipping them out. So even if you buy it now, you'll be prioritized after the Kickstarter backers, but we're going to probably try to do all that shipping within a couple days. So I don't think won't be long before you get it.
And if you're wondering, oh, this stuff's online, why get the Blu-ray or whatever? Well, you're supporting independent film, but also there's tons of extra stuff on there.
Yes.
There's interviews, there's multiple commentary tracks, behind the scenes. There's just a lot of good stuff on there.
Yeah. We really try to make sure, because we care about physical media, so we made it. It's a 2-disc, really nice package with a slip cover for the Kickstarter backers, and we'll have enough to sell. So the first batch of sales will also receive the slipcover, but at some point we'll run out. So if you're interested in a slipcover, buy it now, and it will include the slipcover. But yeah, it includes both films have commentary tracks. Endzone just has one. Once a Future Special has commentary with us as producers, and it has the actor commentary. Both films have interviews with actors. So we have a individual interviews with the actors for Once a Future Smash. So you're on that. Michael St. Michael's, Bill Whedon, and AJ Cutler are on that. And then there's I think it's about 2 hours also, almost 2 hours, a interview documentary with the cast of Endzone 2, just talking about their experience and showing little clips from it and everything like that. So we tried to really go off. There's deleted scenes. And is that everything? I feel like there's more stuff, but there's a lot of stuff. We filled it to the maximum limits, to basically the limits of the capacity of the discs.
Yeah,
that was pretty much.
The documentary it's like a long bunch of interviews for the cast of Endzone 2. That one's really special because if people don't know, Endzone 2, for the longest time, we didn't mention that it was actually, a current film. It was presented as a 1970 film that was restored and started to break kayfabe here, but the actors from that didn't get to really talk about the movie. So
yeah,
it was nice for them to not just talk about it, but then it's immortalized on the Blu-ray.
Yeah, it's all pseudonymous. The credits are all pseudonymous, so nobody has their name on the movie. Still, I mean, that's still the case. Right. And it's listed. I mean, for whatever reason, it different. We control very little of this, but different places list different years for the release of it. But a lot of places it's listed as a 1970 film, which is what we want. That's the intention. And we want people to experience that. Part of the goal is it's not to trick people, but it's to create an experience where you're like, is this real? What's going on with it? What am I watching? And when people stumble upon Endzone 2, they may now, like on Tubi, for example, somebody might just stumble upon Endzone 2, have no idea what it is, and say like, okay, I'm going to put this on. And so they get an experience watching that, that's different than.
That's something we talked about over the years, was how they're going to be discovered, past people that know us. When they're out there, like someone might, like you said, I'm going to watch this Endzone 2. And then maybe from that, they don't even know there is Once in Future Smash. But if you watch Once in Future Smash, you might then like, oh, I wonder if this is out there, or
Right. Yeah, you
however
might
it
not
works.
think it's a real right. You might
Yeah,
think
you
like,
might
oh, there's
not
no
know
real,
that there's
there's
yeah,
no
yeah.
real movie. And so, yeah, it's creating part of it is creating that like that breadcrumb trail so that people can search and find more information and get experience. Also, I want to say, I neglected to mention something that is very important to me, but there is a novelization of End Zone 2 as well that's available, and I think the novelization is I think it's pretty fun. If you're
Yeah.
into that sort of thing, I think it's cool that we have a novelization of
It
the film.
definitely is, and oddly enough, that's I don't know if it's making a comeback, but I'm starting to see more of them pop up. So I was like, "Oh, this is cool timing."
Yeah, when we talk about the Severin stuff, actually, that's a part of the Severin discussion. We'll talk about novelizations because there's a tie-in with the company that's doing that. But I'll save it. I won't spoil that
All right.
yet. I'll save it. But yeah, novelizations have gotten popular again. I think it's people our age, and you and I are close in age. People
like a
our
couple
age
months.
had
Yeah.
had a certain experience with kind of growing up. If you were our age or older, you had an experience where like for me, this is what was exciting for me is I remember as a kid, novelizations came out like 6 months before the movie, sometimes like months before the movie. So I read like my two favorites are Gremlins and Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. And I was now maybe in like third grade when those came out. But I
Yeah.
was an avid reader, and they're not written at the highest level anyway. So I bought those novels, or my parents, I'm sure, bought them for me. I didn't have a
Yeah.
job when I was 7. But I bought those novels and read them, and I loved them. I was obsessed with both. And when I saw the movies, I did love both movies, but in a way, I was disappointed because there were elements of the books that were just not in the movies. And a lot of people might not know about this, but what usually happened for the novelizations is most of the time, the authors who are writing it were just given a script and maybe some still photos and other stuff because the movie usually wasn't finished. So they often did not see any footage, or maybe they saw some footage, but not much of the movie. Maybe at best a really rough cut, like an assembly cut of the movie, and then they had to write it from that. And also, if you've written a screenplay, if you read a screenplay, the amount of content in a screenplay is far less. Now, the novels are usually on the shorter side; they're more like novellas almost. But still, the amount of content in a screenplay is nowhere near what you need in order to have a novelization. So the authors then have to like enhance it by adding supplemental material, backstories, a lot of internal monologues. Like the Gremlins novelization, it's all about like the internal monologues of like Stripe
I need
and
to
of
find this.
Gizmo,
Yeah.
and it's just really funny. And it talks about the planet they came from. There's a whole backstory for like what their life was like on this other
Yeah.
planet and all this crazy stuff. And none of that's in the movie, obviously. Like I was surprised when I saw the movie. I'm like, oh, this is like a completely different thing. So the End Zone 2 novel, just to give some context for it, it has a whole history. It opens with kind of like a prologue about the Donner Party, leading up to an explanation of how anti-communism and at the time, they were termed anti-Indian movements, but anti-Native American movements led to a celebration of pioneerism and to this particular high school that the students were at being named after George Donner, and explaining, how that sort of history, that underlying idea and theme of cannibalism led to some of the events in the End Zone series. So there's a lot of stuff like that. Neil, you play a character named Backwoods Bob. There's an entire history of Backwoods Bob's life in the novel. So we learn a lot about characters that we don't really know much about otherwise.
Yeah.
There's also a chapter at the end that addresses the missing material from the film, because if you've seen it, that the ending is missing. Yeah,
that was a big thing I was looking forward to, is finding out what happens.
Yeah, so you can find out what happened in the ending. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of changes in the novel. I think if you're into the movies, even if you're not into the movies, it's fun. I think it also has a vibe of like a lot of these novels were written by like really good authors who are probably slumming it a little bit to write these novelizations. There was a
Yeah.
contract work. So like Alan Dean Foster wrote the Alien, novelization or things like that. And so they often wrote them at kind of like a higher, more interesting level than you would expect for something that's supposed to be a mass market.
Yeah.
They're overwritten. They're like a little too good and a little
Yeah.
too interesting for like a mass market paperback. Not all of them are. Some of them
I
are
have
not.
to get back because for a little while I was listening to them on Audible or I forget the app I used to listen to audiobooks from my library, and they are fun to listen to because honestly, the ones that are just like an actual like a novel version of what exactly happens in the movie, I'll start getting to them. I'm like, I think I had enough of this. But when they are like completely different, like it's much more entertaining.
Yeah, yeah. I remember reading like the Friday the 13th one even to one point, and it has like a lot more interesting story about, what's going on with Pamela, because she's not even in the movie really. Like
Yeah.
which is a joke we have in our thing. But
Yeah.
but there's a lot more interesting stuff. And I think that, is kind of fundamentally neat. So yeah, so I hope if you're into the Once a Future Smash End Zone 2 world, that you will read take a look at the novel and read that. I think it'll be fun for you. And I would love to do an audiobook version of it, like almost like a radio theater version with like sound design and everything. I think it probably won't happen, but it's on my mind.
Very
It's bothering me.
I love the idea, but I understand it's very time consuming.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, it's not 100% impossible.
Yeah. It's
But
funny on some real old Without Your Heads, I kept bringing up the idea of doing a radio play podcast, and then that actually has become a thing. But I never did it because it was just way too time consuming, I thought. But I had people interested to play like characters and stuff. But now it is a thing. People.
It's become popular. I know a number
Yeah.
of people are doing kind of horror, like radio play podcasts, and there's so many scripts. So so many people have written feature films, for example, that are probably never going to get made, or they can't afford to get made yet. So they get excited about the idea of like adapting it into a radio play.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I really like the Larry Fessenden ones. Beyond the Pale. They're really well done, and some of them are where he did them like they're read by a cast like live at like different events, and they're all like really well written. So they're just fun for anyone up there wants to find them.
Yeah. So we're trying to dig into the real nerd horror stuff with all this project as much as we can, and take it as far as we can, make it as interesting as we can, and make it
I've
as
had
much
a lot
of
of
an
people
experience.
asking about the touchdown shirts, so I've been sending them the link.
Yeah, the shirts are available, right? We have a TeePublic store. You can also get to that store from so we have a shop.launchover.com. The TeePublic store is linked there because the TeePublic URL is kind of annoying to find, but it's Launchover is the store name. But yeah, everything is kind of on our website, like at launchover.com. So you can get to it all from there. And like I said, we'll be shipping out that stuff as soon as we possibly can. Backers, Kickstarter backers also many of them did get a VHS version of End Zone 2. So I don't know. Jeremy, I don't know if it was unplanned, Jeremy. I don't know if the VHS version, if we'll have extra copies that we'll sell later. We may have if we have any, it'll be 5 or 6 that we're able to sell later. But keep your eye out for that if that's something that you're into and you didn't buy it through the Kickstarter campaign. There might be a few VHS copies. They came out really nice. They're beautiful. We got really nice cardboard full box. It was a little more expensive than the clamshells, but I was like, I really want it to look like the proper form, so we went for it. They printed really nicely. I did a rip of the VHS that's also on our YouTube channel. So if you want to watch,
I'm a big
if you want to
fan
watch
of the I think it really fits the movie.
It does.
Honestly,
it does.
It's kind of the coolest way to watch it.
Yeah. So in a way,
Yeah.
the movie does fit well on VHS, I think, and it is the kind of movie I would have seen on VHS growing up. And I watched it. And it's not bad. I mean, it doesn't
It's
sound
really
as
weird
good.
because I've seen the movie a million times now in all different forms. I've seen End Zone 2 a lot, but Smash I've seen a million times in all different forms. But End Zone 2 I've seen too. But I turned on the VHS rip and I just actually sat back and watched the whole movie. I was like, oh, this is kind of cool.
Yeah, so if you want to have the experience, if you couldn't get a VHS, but you want the experience of that, I took one of the VHSs and digitized it just so we would have, you could have that experience, and that's
It
on
really
YouTube.
felt like I like it's obviously there's nothing different. Like it's the same movie, so but it felt like I was watching a whole different movie when I started watching it, and I just watched it
Yeah,
for
it has different visual aesthetic. It has a different auditory aesthetic. It's the movie is it's almost 1:3:3. It's not quite exactly that, but the aspect ratio makes sense for VHS for what you would have seen in the old days on VHS before they did widescreen widescreen VHS. So yeah, I think it's a nice experience. I would love to put it on Laserdisc too, but that's not going to happen. I don't even think you can. I don't even think anybody manufactures Laserdiscs
That's
anymore.
a good point because you do see the limited edition VHS, but I don't think I've seen anyone do a limited edition.
I don't think there's
Laserdisc.
even a
Maybe there's-
company that makes them anymore. So I don't think even if you really wanted to, I don't think it's
Yeah,
physically
I
possible.
never had a Laserdisc player ever. In my
Yeah,
life.
no, I never did either. But I had friends with them, and so my friends. The one thing that was cool about Laserdiscs, if you were a real nerd back in the day, is that now this is probably I'm trying to think of the year, around 1990 maybe. The Laserdiscs of let's say movies like Nightmare on Elm Street, like my friend had the whole Nightmare on Elm Street series on Laserdisc. It was the only way to get the widescreen versions. So the VHS version was kind of like pan and scan or cropped or whatever,
Yeah.
and the Laserdisc version was an actual full widescreen. So I had my friend dub me because I didn't have a Laserdisc player, but he dubbed me all at the time 6 Nightmare on Elm Street movies, and I could watch the widescreen versions of them. And if you ever had a Laserdisc player, also you'd have to flip it halfway through the movie, so there'd always be like a gap on the tape.
Oh,
There'd
I
always be
actually
like a
didn't
weird
know
gap.
that. So.
Yeah, the movie was always on at least 2 sides
Yeah.
of Laserdisc, sometimes more if you had a longer movie.
That
So it'd always be like halfway through the movie there'd always be like a gap where he had to like flip the Laserdisc.
Yeah.
over.
The long, movies like Godfather, whatever, it was always split into 2 VHS tapes, which was always really annoying, honestly. You just had to stop the movie. And then also reminds me of the old Sierra computer games. They'd have like some of them movie like 20 discs. It's like put in disc 7. And you just sit there while it's buffering. And it was
yeah. I definitely was there for that. So it's 7:00 now. If you want us to stop talking about this and start talking about Severin, we can do that.
Yeah, if you guys, Jeremy and Alex here, I see them in chat.
Yeah, I haven't seen the animated Gremlins yet, but I've heard it's interesting. Yeah.
Huh? Is that new or?
I think it's pretty new, like last year.
I've not seen it either. We had VHS, and that's another one I don't think everyone does. Is like a limited edition Betamax.
Yeah, I'm not even sure you can get beta tapes anymore. Like I'm not sure they're manufactured, so you'd have to find old stock or something. Like at least VHS tapes they're hard to get, I guess, but they're still manufactured by somebody. So like the tapes that we got are newly manufactured, and I think you can order them to like about the runtime, so they don't it's not like a 6-hour tape that there's or a 2-hour tape that there's only 1 hour of material on. There's only about the amount of tape that is required for the movie on the End Zone 2 VHS. So
and before Alex and Jeremy get here, we'll be launching the Arbor Day crowdfund of the campaign most likely on Monday. Some of the people involved are filming their bits for the campaign this weekend. So instead of putting it out, and then it's best to wait and get everyone in on it. And so it'll be cool. So that'll be Monday. And I mentioned this before, but Arbor Day is, I searched the old messenger with me and Annabelle, and I had talked about it originally in 2012. So to finally look like to actually be making it is very exciting. It's changed a lot since then. But I think everyone's probably changed in 12 years. So.
We've all changed, yeah.
But the gist of it is still I mean, even it's much stranger. I think it's much funnier. So hopefully it all comes together. But it's very nice that so many people like Michael here wants to help out. That's special to me, and I'll announce more people. There's a lot of people involved, and we'll talk all about that in the very near future.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Excited.
But Laserdisc fan Jeremy Long.
I'm sorry, I was on the phone with my manager about this,
It was unplanned. It was my extra time was unplanned. I'm just filling in to talk smash.
I didn't get top billing on the flyer either, so we had a
Yeah.
discussion about that.
Well,
Oh man.
next time.
I need
Where's
to find
Alex?
a way where no one has top billing, where the names
Happy to
just
be
are
here.
all
I'm
on
just
top of each
joking.
other.
Thanks for having me, Neil.
Of course, anytime. It's good to see you. I haven't seen. Well, let's see. I saw you in person at the premiere of Influence and Future Smash
at the Chinese.
Yeah,
that was a fun time. Someone stole my Betamax joke. I was going to do that when I joined in, and then
really?
Someone in the chat stole it.
Yeah.
Now you have to be just a Laserdisc fan. So
I'm just a Laserdisc fan.
Do you own any Laserdiscs?
I used to, and then I got rid of them. Sorry, let me mute this. I got rid of them. That's Alex asking, how do I join?
So yeah, I'll send her the link here.
Yeah. Because I have a few Laserdiscs. I have we're very obsessed with the show The Prisoner. We had a whole band called Do Not Forsake, Sophia and I, when I say that, Sophia, who is my production and life partner, involved in Once and Future Smash and everything else. But we had a band called Do Not Forsake Me, Oh My Darling, that was themed around the TV series The Prisoner, the 60s ITV series in the UK. And so we saw, I don't know, maybe it was on eBay. They were selling the episodes of The Prisoner on Laserdisc for like $3 each or something. And I thought I better buy them. So I own many of the episodes of The Prisoner on Laserdisc. I have not watched them ever on Laserdisc because I don't even think anybody has a working Laserdisc player left.
But what a bargain.
They're all broke. But yeah, they were not expensive. It wasn't like I spent an enormous amount of money. There's Alex.
Hi guys.
Hello.
Hello.
So, do you want me to just kind of start talking about this thing, and then we can kind of go from there? Is that the best thing for you, Neil? Because you weren't there.
Yeah.
You know nothing. You know nothing.
He was there in spirit.
So, so
really
Neil,
excited to start talking about all kinds of films, feature length, short, poop films.
It's going to be exciting.
All of the above.
Just a real quick shout out to Annabelle because she's actually currently writing up the Arbor Day Kickstarter. So thank you for doing that, for helping out, because there's a lot to do. Yeah.
So Neil, you sent me basically as a spy to an event that Severin holds once a year. It's called Severin's Super Shock Pop-Up Film Festival. This is the 2024 edition of it. And they describe it as part fan appreciation event, part future titles reveal, and quote unquote 100% Severin Films Gala celebration. So that was their blurb. David Gregory, the president of Severin, that's how he describes it. So it's a really fun. I missed it previous years. Jeremy did go last year, I believe. So he can mention that if you would like to. But it's a really fun event where we basically, if for anybody who doesn't know, Severin is a boutique physical media label, mostly Blu-ray, I guess, and some 4K, some other weird stuff as well. Label that does restorations of films and some new releases, but primarily restorations of films that have been not really given proper treatment. They do a lot of bonus materials and other stuff, and they have amazing releases. They have just really incredible material that they release. And so once a year they kind of go out and they have this event where they play. It's a triple feature officially. And they play 3 movies that were unannounced, so we didn't know going in what we would see. And they're all going to be titles that they're about to release, so that are going to come out on Blu-ray in the near future. And this is their announcement. And then they showed trailers of additional movies that are also coming out in the near future. So it's kind of like them saying, here's what our catalog looks like for the next bunch of months. So that's the overview of the event. Does that anybody want to add anything that I missed?
They gave us goodie bags.
They gave us goodie bags.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah, so it's a celebration. They give us goodie bags. In my goodie bag, I got copies of The Changeling.
Oh, you had them ready to go.
Which is a great,
Me too.
great movie. And Plague Town, which is directed by David Gregory, that they put out. So David Gregory is the president of
The
Severin.
founder.
So everybody, I think there are maybe 3 founders, but he's kind of the main guy right now, if not the only main guy. But Plague Town is a movie he directed, so everybody got a copy of that. And then, and he, by the way, he is I haven't seen Plague Town yet, but he is a talented director. He also directed a bunch of documentary films, including one of my favorite documentaries that I've ever seen in my entire life, Lost Soul, the Richard Stanley,
Oh yeah, I
Island of
love
Dr.
that.
Moreau
Yeah,
movie.
it's a great
Incredible documentary. If you haven't seen that, just absolutely wonderful. So David Gregory directed that. He directed. I didn't prepare myself for this, so let me think for a second. He directed the Bruce Lee Clones movie. I think it's called The Clones of Bruce. And he directed the Al Adamson. It's called Blood.
That's a really good one too.
Blood and Flesh. The Al Adamson documentary. So he directs a lot of stuff that goes out on the Severin sets, or is released by Severin, but really cool stuff. He also directed, not for Severin, but the documentary Party Time, the music of Return of the Living Dead, which Sophia and I shot an interview for the rehabbed version of that. There was an original version of it, and then they enhanced it by adding an interview with John Sachs of the FUs, who sang the song that replaced the damned song in the later releases of the film because they couldn't get the rights to the damn song for the physical media. I'm getting in the weeds here. But anyway, he directed that. We shot a piece of that. He's done a lot of great work. He's a cool guy. I don't know why I'm promoting David Gregory, but he's a good guy. He also
gave him the whole shout out. He listed out his filmography.
he also is in the deleted scenes of the Once and Future Smash. He shot a thing for us, which we ended up not putting in the movie, not because of him, just because of the way we framed the story, where he talks about Severin as a label. It's funny because it's like Severin's a label. We know all about all these rare, obscure movies. And we're like, how about End Zone 2? And he's like, never heard of it. So that's on the deleted scenes. So I got the Changeling, Plague Town. They gave us, Severin masks.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
Some a tattoo, another tattoo, some postcards and materials, and this really cool book called "These Fists Break Bricks." The giant.
Damn, that book's huge. Yeah.
Grady
It's a whole
Hendrix
kung fu book.
Kung Fu book. It's got fully illustrated.
This really is a goodie bag.
Graphics.
Yeah.
This is. I don't know what the retail on this.
Yeah,
the $40 retail, which is well worth $40. A great book, but we got it for free. So,
I did spend money. I did buy a whole stack.
So yeah, they also
not a freeloader like these two over here.
They also use it as a sales event, so Alex and Jeremy can talk about all the things that they bought.
Yeah, I mean, the majority of what I got were like Jeremy recommendations. Like I chose this myself, which is Cemetery Man. I mean,
oh
absolutely
great, that's
iconic.
great movie.
Which also had a strong backing recommendation from me.
Yes, he supported that one. Four Flies.
They did an amazing package for Cemetery Man, by the way.
Yeah.
That's a really So this is the
so
thing about
glossy.
Severin. Really good label, like tons of cool stuff. If you're not familiar.
Bad Biology is just like it's like a booklet, which is so nice. Like this is literally the DVD. The sleeves are right in here, so it's really nice. The Santa Sangre one also for this it's beautiful. But yeah, we're doing promotion.
I mean, yeah.
Severin puts out great stuff. I have a huge collection. I did not buy as much stuff as Alex because I already had most of the stuff that was at their table. But I did get the House of Psychotic Women book, which they just re-put out with additional content. And the author, who was Mike's friend as well, was there at the event. And so we got to speak with her. And then I also got the one film I purchased because it sold out too soon on the website. I missed it. Was this re-release of Kathy's Curse in a special box where her eyes light up green.
And they work, right? You turned it on.
Yeah, and most people, there was a lot of talk in the physical media community, which is my whole other side. Check out the Disconnected podcast that I produce. And there was a whole bunch of talk about people receiving it in the mail, and it either was completely broken, or only one eye would light up, or it was like blinking instead of being solid. So they only had 4 left at the stand at the Severin event, and I was like, do these actually work? And they're like, yeah, we just tested them this morning. And I was like, all right. So I grabbed one of those.
If there's ever a lesson, it's don't put electronics in your physical
electronics.
Yeah, I remember this was a thing like when Pink Floyd released that album with the blinking lights. Like half of them didn't work too. It's a universal
Ghostbusters. They did a big Ghostbusters box set too that looked like the capsule. What are they called? Like
the proton pack. No.
Yeah, no,
the trap, the ghost trap.
Yeah, the trap.
Yeah, okay.
And it like lit up green and everything, and the same thing with those. It was a lot of people were getting them, and it wasn't working properly. And
yeah,
it's not. It's cool. It's a cool idea, but it's not the best idea to put.
That's why we were gonna have glowing footballs on on the feature Smash cover, and then
we were gonna wrap it in barbed wire too, but we decided that was a liability. So
I'm still in favor of that one.
Hey, after they make the purchase, it's out of your hands.
That's right. But anyway, so Severin, very cool stuff. Lots of things. So they have this event. Everybody's excited to go, buy a bunch of stuff at the thing, get the goodie bag, with some free movies, some free stuff. And so then, we kind of step into the theater and they do a little intro. So David Gregory does a little intro, and Jim Branscombe, who is in the Once and Future Smash also, and runs a series here. So I know this is a lot of stuff for LA only people, so I'm sorry if you're not here, but give you a sense of it. He runs a series called Cinematic Void, and he has actually an online one where he does kind of online screenings as well. So if you check out cinematicvoid.com, you can see that. He has a Patreon with all that stuff. But there's awesome screenings every week here. He did a little intro. I'll tie in back to what Jeremy said. House of Psychotic Women, written by Kayla Janice, who also put together the two Severin box sets, the folk horror box sets. The first one has been out for a while now, a year, more than a year, I don't know.
Yeah,
a while.
like
over a year.
2022.
Over a year. And then the second one, it was just announced, so it just went on pre-sale. And it is called All the Haunts Be Ours. So the first one was All the Haunts Be Ours Volume 1. Now there's Volume 2. And we'll get to a little thing from Volume 2 later. But
yeah,
so
they
Kayla,
one of the shorts at the festival.
No spoilers. No spoilers, Alex.
What?
I'm just kidding.
Preview.
So Kayla was there, signing books. And then a lot of us went to the Cinematic Void screening this past week, which is the movie Cockfighter, where Kayla had written a book called Cockfight about the history of the making of that film. So she was there, for the whole weekend signing that book and doing that. So she's involved in a lot of that. She was involved in producing a Jean Roland book that I thought was really excellent. It's out of print now, but really cool. So she does a lot of awesome stuff, both for Severin and for her own writing and everything. So Jim comes out, Cinematic Void, Jim, David Gregory, they do a little intro, and David Gregory tells us, he was at an event where they played a short film that offended everybody there. And so he thought, this is years ago, and he thought, what better way to kick off this event than to play that very same film? So
it did not offend everyone this time, but it certainly Mike and I.
I liked it.
I didn't like it.
Mongolitos.
Alex gave it 5 stars on Letterboxd, which I just think
5-star worthy. I won't backtrack on that choice.
There's a lot of poop and eating poop and things like that. So the name Mongolitos is it kind of means like little R word, I think, right? I don't know Spanish, but would you say that that's what it translates to?
I mean, yeah.
It's not a polite term, but anyway. So it's a bunch of people in a bathroom, people coming in and out of a bathroom doing disgusting.
Public restroom.
I mean, can I lead? Because I like this.
Yeah. Take it, Alex. Take it, Alex.
Yeah, I'd rather not talk about it at all.
So. Just like within the
spend a lot of time.
And we got the rectum crowning, and he is peppered with hemorrhoids. That is what draws you in, is like into the story. Yeah. And what else do people go to the bathroom for except to eat shit? There's just literally a series of vignettes tied into that single bathroom.
Yeah.
And I thought it was fantastic, honestly.
Not a fan personally. Jeremy was not a fan, so
it definitely goes out of its way to get gross. And
needless to say, I threw away my milk duds after that.
Yeah. There's a lot of groaning in the audience, a lot of like, oh, as it went. So it certainly woke everybody up. We got that little short film. Then we got the first film. So officially, this is a 3 feature film series. We don't know what they're going to be. we get the first film, and it is a film called The Mask of Satan. Or Satan's Mask, maybe. Was it
The
Mask of
Mask
Satan?
of Satan.
Mask of
Mask
Satan.
of Satan. Demons 5.
Which also is known as Demons 5, The Devil's Veil.
Yeah.
It is also, apparently, I looked this up because I had not seen it yet. So first of all, it's directed by Lamberto Bava.
Mario
Which is
Bava's son.
Mario Bava's son. So which is why I knew right away when it came out, I was like, oh, this is probably at some point was called The Demons, had a demon's name in it because whatever. But it's kind of loosely a sequel or remake or whatever to Black Sunday,
I'd say remake.
was also called Mask of Satan. That was an alternate title for Black Sunday. It involves, if you've seen Black Sunday, it involves that witch's mask where they the satanic, where they have the nails inside of it and they hammer it to the face of the witch to kill her or to put her in a suspended state, I guess. So, the premise of this one, not to spoil too much, but the premise is they're skiers. They fall into a hole, like there's an earthquake. They fall into a hole and they find like a witch's body with this mask attached to it. And then, things go kind of not great from there.
Now, what was interesting about this version that we watched was it was a Spanish dub.
Yeah.
Which I spoke with my friend Andrew Furtado, one of the other head honchos over there at Severin, when I realized I had seen this movie and took a little break in the back patio area, which was where they had a bar and a DJ, and that's where the table booth was with the Severin stuff for sale. And I guess they had some event at some kind of Spanish film festival of some sorts recently where they had this Spanish dub prepared, and they didn't have the actual Italian dub ready to go. And I guess they didn't let Andrew know soon enough in time for this event that this was going to be one of the films they were showing. So he didn't have time to get it ready in time. So he said he just slapped the Spanish dub on there.
They assume most of us don't. I thought it was weird because I was like, I was like, they're not speaking Italian, but okay, whatever. Not that I know Italian either, but I did recognize it as Spanish. So yeah, it was fine. I mean, so I had to read the subtitles anyway. So.
Now, what you skipped over, Mike, was that we had a trailer pack before that first film.
Oh yes, I did skip over this. Very important.
We were given a chance to vote on what
don't reveal the outcome yet. Hold the outcome.
No.
So this was the first year they did this because I was at the last two. This is the third year, and this is the first time they did this where it's always surprise titles, like Mike mentioned earlier, but they let us vote on what the second film of the three would be by showing us 4 trailers before the first film. And then we had little slips that we wrote our votes down on. And we won't tell you the winner yet, as Mike just said, but Mike, I can tell the...
Yeah, let's go through the films because these are all releases. I mean, this is what's interesting is this is their way of saying these are films that we're going to be releasing on Blu-ray, coming up. So these 4 trailers they showed us, these are all films that are going to be Severin releases, and we're just picking the one that is going to be played at that time.
The first one was I'm looking up the exact title.
Rats, Nights of Terror. Night of Terror.
Night of Terror.
Rats, Night of Terror. Yeah.
Which Mike and I sadly missed that trailer because we were running late because we scarfed down lunch down the block real quick.
I missed the trailer too.
That first one. Apparently, it was a banger. Our other friend Alex, male Alex, said that it was really good and that it had his vote at that point in time that we first walked into the theater. The second film was.
Well, hold on, and Rats is directed by Bruno Mattei and Claudio Fragasso, which is a classic. Classic, ridiculous Italian film. Claudio Fragasso, just to keep self-promoting as we go, Claudio Fragasso also appears in the Once and Future Smash as himself, talking about the End Zone 3 Cannibal Linebacker.
At this point, the Once and Future Smash sponsored the Severin pop-up.
yeah. So anyway, that was my point. But it's a Claudio Fragasso, Bruno Mattei movie, so you know what you're getting if you're familiar with those guys. I'm a fan of both their work. I love the movies that they both do, and I am very excited to see Rats for sure.
I want to check it out too. I'm looking forward to it.
I guess we revealed that they didn't show that one. That's what we just
Oh, damn it!
Whoops.
You didn't see the trailer. That's what you revealed.
So it's one of the following 3 films.
We'll get to it.
The second trailer was Poppers. Mike, I'll let you just talk about the film.
Okay. It's directed by Jose Maria Castelvi. I wasn't familiar with this one before. Also, it's from 1984 as well. So for a second, I was like, are these all going to be 1984 films? But that was not the case by the end. It's kind of, it has like so it's called Poppers. There was a different title. I don't remember. I'm sorry, the other alternate title that was in the US maybe. But Poppers already implies, and if you watched it, you saw some of the like gay leather daddy kind of appearance to it. So I think it has like a gay underbelly element. I suspect it was influenced by Cruisin'. Because a lot of these movies are hunting.
Also known as hunting. It says.
Yeah, I suspect it was influenced by Cruisin'. So like it's kind of like a lot of these movies, something comes out in the U.S. that's popular, and I'm not sure. It must be Spanish movie. I don't think it's Italian, but I'm not sure actually where it was produced.
This is a Spanish film, yes.
Spanish, yeah. So it was a Spanish film. So they probably saw Cruising came out, and they're like, let's make a movie that's kind of in the vibe of Cruising. I did like the trailer very much. I think the trailer is very interesting. So I think this is a cool movie that Severin's putting that out.
I liked the trailer as well, and I maybe liked the film. We can't say yet whether or not I enjoyed the film or have seen it.
We could just say it wasn't that one.
Okay, it wasn't Poppers. I look forward to watching that one. The third of 4 trailers was the Dracula Saga. This was Mike's pick.
This is my pick as well.
Oh, and apparently. This is from 1973, as I look it up as we speak, and then Mike.
Yeah. Leon Klimovsky, who's an Argentinian filmmaker, I believe, and it was probably a Spanish film as well. I think it was made in Spain as well. I didn't actually look that up. I'm sorry, but same thing. So it's in that era of like the Hammer and all these other vampire films. It looked kind of like a neat, like it could have fit in with the family of all those Hammer films. I wasn't really particularly. I had it on my watch list before, so I had heard of it before this, but I wasn't particularly familiar. The trailer looked fun to me. Looked like one of those kind of Hammer 70s films. I would have liked to have seen it. That was my top pick, but alas.
I love that the whole time we're talking about these great old classics. Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Yep, the Saga of Dracula. Yeah.
The whole time we're talking about these great kind of old.
Yep, that's so that's Poppers.
Yeah, it's definitely Cruising. And
yeah. So I think hunting. The name hunting is also like Cruising. It's very similar in that title. So it looks cool. I mean, I think to me, like Rats, Poppers, and Dracula Saga all appealed to me more than the choice that they made. But there are reasons why. We'll get to that in a minute. But nothing is wrong with the choice that they made.
Well, so the next trailer was the super horny, super erotic Super Vixens. And that one was about a mechanic who's just having a hard time trying to get through.
I guess he's having a hard time.
He's having a hard time, and he's trying to
he's kind of having the time of his life with all these.
He's having a great time. He's meeting like Wonder Woman after Wonder Woman, and it definitely got a pretty rowdy responst.
Yeah, so it's a Russ Meyer movie. Yeah, it's a Russ Meyer movie. If you're not familiar, it's a Russ Meyer movie. It's so if you know Russ Meyer, it's just giant boobs pretty much is the main focus of the movie in every way. I had just watched it a couple months before, and it's not my favorite Russ Meyer, so I was kind of like, oh, I hope they don't show this one. I would rather see one of the other movies, but it was the one that everybody responded tremendously to. The audience was 99 point. I think Alex is the only woman in the audience there. No, it was vast majority men, and vast majority, I guess, the type of men who wanted to see Super Vixens.
I'm no better than a man. Okay.
Yeah. Nothing's
I
wrong.
Like Super Vixens.
No, it was cool. It was cool, and it's a big deal. Yep, there's a Rats poster. It's a big deal because it has been very hard. I won't get in the whole thing, and I don't know the whole story. But whoever has the rights to the estate of Russ Meyer, it's kind of like an organization, an estate organization whoever's running that, based on his will, it has been very hard to get restorations of his films out. So it was a very big deal that Severin actually got access to Super Vixens to do a restoration of it. So people were very psyched about that. There's a bunch of buzz. I mean, nobody knows yet. That hasn't been announced yet. There's a lot of buzz that people are thinking if they did get access to this film, they probably also maybe got access to some of his other films, because there's a whole bunch of films that really need restoration. And there's concern that like the elements of these films are kind of like rotting in a garage in Burbank or something. So everybody's really hoping that Severin has access to more of them. We don't know, that we weren't told anything, but everybody's psyched that Super Vixens is coming out.
I actually had a long conversation with Andrew about that as well, which I won't speak publicly about because I think it was more private. But suffice it to say, it was a many-year journey, many years to get this print and restore it to what we watched. So it was fine, and it was nice to see it, the restoration and everything.
It looked beautiful. Yeah, it looked and sounded beautiful. It's a fun movie to watch in a group. It's if you follow Russ Meyer stuff, I don't know how many I've seen. Half the Russ Meyer movies, not all, but maybe half. One of the things that's notable about this film is it stars Sherry Eubank, who's only in this film, and she's in one other film, but not a Russ Meyer film. And what's interesting is it's thematically interesting because she plays both the bad girlfriend role in the beginning, kind of the evil woman in the beginning, and then the like good woman at the end. It's kind of this dichotomy. But if you read the story about it, he had actually cast his wife at the time, Edie Williams, to play the end role. And she decided she wanted to be a serious actor and didn't want to do any more of his movies. So she bailed on it close to shooting. And they're like, I don't know, let's just put Sherry Eubank in it. And she's awesome. She's amazing.
She's incredible.
It's like, she's the best part about the movie, in my opinion. And it's disappointing that she's not in more films. I think she's just really, really cool. I think it's great that she plays both roles. I think it makes the movie much better.
And they kind of subvert expectations with like what they named these characters. Like she's the bad girlfriend, her name is Super Angel, and when she's the good girlfriend, she's finally Super Vixen.
Super Vixen. Yeah, all the women are super something. Their names are like super
whatever. Ayla.
It's a very like artifice driven world. I mean, as all Russ Meyer movies are, but it's like it clearly sets itself in like a fantasy world. Like the world is not. And if you know Russ Meyer movies, you know what happens in it. Everybody's trying to have sex with him. He's pretty much trying to get away from them.
If he sees a woman run.
Yeah. Interestingly, though, the villain, I believe, actually, I didn't look. I should have looked this up, but I believe maybe somebody can look this up as I'm saying it. And you can correct me if I'm wrong. The guy who plays the villain he's a cop. He's like a corrupt cop. He is also the sheriff in First Blood, I believe. So he's the villain in First Blood, I believe.
Harry Sledge. Oh, he was also in Silence of the Lambs.
Is he the main sheriff guy in First Blood, or am I misremembering?
Yeah, he's in Part 2, First Blood Part 2.
Oh, he's in Rambo.
Rambo.
He's not in First Blood.
Wait, which First Blood were you talking about?
I'm talking about First Blood.
No, I don't know.
I'm looking at that. Oh, he was in One-Eyed Monster, the Ron Jeremy.
Or like Off Base.
Oh no, you know what? Brian Dennehy is the sheriff in the other one. So I'm totally wrong. I'm remembering him. He's in the second one. Yeah, right. Okay, I lied. Don't scratch that from the record. But he's in Rambo. Yes. Okay. I remembered him in one of those movies. I couldn't remember. Like I said, I should have looked up. I remembered him being in one of the Rambo movies, but
Now, we all knew, I think, that it was going to be Super Vixens before they actually announced that was a winner, just based on the crowd reaction.
Yeah.
To that trailer.
Oh my god! It felt like I was in a fraternity.
It was very strong. Very strong. Very, very kind of not to be crude about it, but yeah, it was a male-dominated thing, and they were excited about that. So it was fun.
Mike was next to me trying to play it cool, very sensible. He's like, "Well, I'm gonna vote for Dracula."
I enjoyed Super Vixens, but I really wanted to see. I would have liked any of the other movies better because I had just watched Super Vixens like a month before.
Right.
And
I would have liked to see Poppers, honestly.
Poppers looked awesome. Yeah, I mean, all
I
of them looked
for Rats, and I didn't even see the trailer.
Yeah, I mean, they all. But that's the thing. Honestly, like when I reflecting on this, every single one of those sounds like a banger to me.
Yeah,
I'm gonna watch all 4 of those movies. Like there was none of them that I'm like, oh, I don't care about this movie.
You're
I'm
gonna
like
watch
every
Super
one of those.
Vixens a third time?
No, I've already seen it, but I'm saying now I will watch the other 3
Yeah.
movies. Yeah,
Well,
Super
here's the
Vixens,
fun
I'm
fact.
good for a while.
When I was looking up these films as we were talking about them, apparently the Dracula saga was featured in Brain Scan.
Ah.
Really?
Is it like
Under
on the TV?
Yeah, I assume so. It doesn't.
Is it the same director? Because it's a.
Well,
I
yeah,
think
what's the
Brain Scan might be a
connection?
Spanish director as well.
This movie.
I wonder if it's the same director.
It's called Death, Death, Death in the film Brain Scan.
Okay.
I wonder if it is. No, John Flynn directed. Brain
Okay, no.
Scan.
Yeah, I don't know. Then
Anyways,
I got nothing.
I thought that was interesting.
I got nothing.
Was there a trailer after Super Vixens?
Yeah,
I don't
well,
even know.
no, because what there was instead was. Oh wait, there were trailers. I lied.
There were
Because-
trailers before Super Vixen. Yeah.
No. After the Super Vixens trailer.
No, that was the
No,
last
no.
trailer
Yeah,
of the
okay.
first set of trailers. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, we voted, and then we watched Mask of Satan.
Yeah, and then after that ended, we had a break, and we came back for Super Vixens, and they showed trailers for movies that are coming out that are being released by Severin. I should have written down all of these. I know Hell of the Living Dead was one
Oh,
of
I
them.
know how to find out.
You look on Alex, other Alex,
Our
yeah.
dear friend male Alex always
Yeah.
posts on his letter.
Yeah, so Hell of the Living Dead was one of them, which I'll segue into something while you're looking that up.
Yeah.
We also had a special guest interview. So Jim from Cinematic Void came up and did an interview with this guy who I wrote down his name.
He's doing
somewhere.
the novelization.
His name is Brad Carter, and he is somebody who has done several film novelizations for Severin in conjunction with the company Encyclopocalypse. And so Encyclopocalypse is a company that is doing a lot of film novelizations, including cool movies like Forbidden Zone. Like I bought the version of Forbidden Zone that our friend Josh Milliken wrote, which is very cool. So Brad Carter was interviewed. They talked to him about the process of writing a novelization of a film. It was some of the things that Neil and I talked about prior to this about the End Zone 2 novelization, where it's like, you have the script isn't enough to fill in the time. You have to add some other materials. Also, you're kind of working from, he said the same thing where he was working from the movie to a great degree, but he wanted to pretend like he was working from a script. So he just changed a bunch of stuff and added characters and did basically whatever he wanted with it. He said he changed the ending on one, but he wanted to make it like really much more interesting than the movie in some ways. And he said his Hell of the Living Dead novelization was his magnum opus. So it's not out yet, just announced. He did write the Cruel Jaws novelization, which is out. I don't know if any of you have seen Cruel Jaws. Are you familiar with that?
I'm not familiar. I've not seen it, but I know of it.
It's real bad.
I've read the novelization. I've seen.
Yeah, it's real bad. It basically just takes scenes from Jaws movies and like writes a story around them because they didn't shoot any like shark stuff or explosions or stuff. They'll just put in clips of like Jaws and Jaws 2 and other things. I think Bruno Mattei directed it, if I'm not mistaken. Is that true? We better fact check that.
Cruel Jaws. Prepare for
Bruno
Cruel
Mattei.
Jaws.
Bruno Mattei directed it. Bruno Mattei. So anyway, so Brad Carter came up and talked about the novelization process, which was really cool to get insight into that. And do you know the trailers now, Jeremy?
I do. I just previous to his Q&A, the thought of reading Cruel Jaws, the novelization, was something that I wouldn't wish upon my worst enemy. But he seems like a really nice guy, and he talked about stuff he added to it and everything. So it actually seems like he probably improved it.
It's probably better than the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I would put good money down that the Cruel Jaws novel is better than the movie.
I would say I would agree. So thanks to our friend Alex, the trailer pack was Hell of the Living Dead, as Mike said, The Virgin of Nuremberg.
Oh yeah, that was an interesting one.
And lastly, which this is interesting, Thesis, or
Thesis, which is an absolutely incredible film, came out the same year Scream
movie.
did. You could draw a lot of
And
similarities between them.
physical media nerd over here. It's interesting. I was pleasantly surprised by that because Umbrella just announced that in the Australia. They're putting out that, and so we knew a US release of that was imminent. And the fact that Severin's the one putting that out is exciting because I know they'll treat it with care and get some good.
Yeah.
bonus
They might have
features.
worked together even on the restoration. Then it's possible. I mean, I have no inside information there, but that might have been something where was it shot on like DV? It kind of looked. I mean, I'm just saying because of the trailer. It kind of, which maybe the trailer is just old materials, but it kind of looked like it might have been shot on DV. Like it had a weird feel to it. Which is always interesting. I mean, again, I'm gonna try to look this up real quick. It's kind of interesting. If it wasn't, that's fine. But when films are done that way, because it's like, what is the proper approach to? No, it says 35. Oh, it says some of it is Sony High 8. So some of the video segments are Sony High 8. So it's a mix of 35 and High 8. So there's an example where it's like interesting, like the High 8 material. Doing a restoration of that. Did they go back to the original High 8? Source footage, or did they use the 35 transfer of it, or how did they approach that? And people do different things when they do these films, and that's I'd be interested to learn more about what they actually did.
Note to YouTube commenter Yaha, the Arc of the Sun God was actually a trailer in the third trailer pack, which we'll get to shortly, but not before Super Vixens.
Yeah. So Virgin of Nuremberg also, which is known as, I knew it as Horror Castle. I've heard of that as Horror Castle before. It looked, I have not seen the movie, but I was aware of it again. And it looked like a fun movie. I mean, I don't know, it had Christopher Lee in it, and what looked like a smaller role, but he was in it.
It looks really bomb.
Early 60s Italian horror. And it's set, interestingly, I guess, either after or during World War II. Is that right? I'm not sure. That's what it seemed like when we were looking at it. That's what it seemed like the story they were telling, like the war is related. It's kind of looking back at like the horrors of war. So, yeah. Anyway, interesting movie. Haven't seen it. Look forward to seeing it. I'm gonna watch every one of these. Like I said, all the titles that they're doing releases on.
I mean, I'm definitely gonna get this as soon as Severin does the release for it. Immediate purchase.
I already ordered the Umbrella box set, but I'll probably pick up some as well.
I was resisting for a while.
Out of control. All right, so those are all the trailers, right? Is that everything before?
That was everything before Super Vixens, yes.
Okay, so then we watched Super Vixens. Everybody had a fun time. Sherry
Everybody had a
Eubank
real fun
is
time.
awesome. Sherry Eubank is very awesome.
Yeah, she's a star.
I'm probably gonna watch the other movie that she's in just for fun, but I see all the reviews of it are like, if you're watching this just because Sherry Eubank is in it, you're gonna be disappointed because it's not that good and she's not in it that much or something. But so such is life. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it anyway.
She's worth it.
Yeah. So then,
break.
Then we have more trailers. I guess the trailers in the next section.
Yes.
Or no?
The trailer pack before the third and final surprise film of the night that we did not vote on, was a trailer for the new All the Haunts Volume 2 box set.
Right.
Showcasing what films will be included and little sneak peeks. Looks great. Mike mentioned earlier. I mean, it's one of the first box set.
Oh, wait. We had a short film.
We'll get to that. We'll get to
that.
that.
That was after that one, the trailer pack, yeah.
The first box set of All the Haunts Are Ours was just, it's one of the best physical media releases to date. And this volume 2 was highly anticipated, and this trailer really gave a good tease for everybody. It looks like it's going to be fantastic.
And the first box set, before we go further too, the first box set contains a documentary, which I am blanking on the name of, that Kayla made, which is an incredible folk horror
Woodland, Dark, and I forgot the third.
Okay, we'll look that up in a second. But yeah, it's incredible. It's an incredible kind of long. It's a few hours. Let me see. Woodlands, Dark, and Days Bewitched. I was not going to come up with that without looking it up. 3 hours and 14 minutes. History of folk horror. So very deep dive into the history of folk horror. Tons and tons of references to movies that I was not familiar with at all. I'm sitting there watching it like, okay, add that to the watch list. Oh, add that to like tons of it. And the box set contained like 20 movies that are, that are mentioned in that. This new box set contains a bunch more. But the documentary is great. It's really, really good. Well worth the 3 hours and 14 minutes of your time.
Taylor really is a valuable resource. Like with all
She
the
is,
like
yeah.
everything like is also available through Shudder. Like some of the projects.
Yeah,
But-
a lot
and
of
also
it
through
is.
House
Yeah.
of Psychotic Women. They're all on Shudder too.
Yeah. There was also a House of Psychotic Women box set that
Mhm.
came out through Severin that had, I think, 5 films, including a Dentikit and some others that I have not, I didn't get it, but it looks awesome. It also looks really good.
Yeah, I was there. I didn't get it either.
So, sorry, were there more trailers?
Yes. Then after that, they showed a trailer for a film called The Glass Ceiling, which I actually don't recall.
I'm trying to remember it. What was it about? It was is the husband goes away on a trip or something? Let me look this up. Glass Ceiling, a few days alone while her husband's on a business trip.
Oh, yes.
It looked awesome. Actually, yeah, she hears mysterious steps. It actually looked really cool. Now I remember it. It looked like something that I really enjoy, like a kind of a weird, creepy mystery giallo kind of film.
And Carmen Sevilla's in it.
Yeah, I thought it looked really fun. I don't know what the tone is going to be. It's like, it's a little, I don't know. It was a little hard to like pin down. That's why I think we don't remember it. But it had a really cool vibe. It had a look and like a shooting style that's like my kind of vibe, like early 70s, like weird art, sort of giallo type thing. I don't think it's Italian.
Well, didn't it kind of remind you of Lisa and the Devil?
Yeah. So like, yeah,
like
exactly.
she's like things are kind of happening on a loop there.
She's kind of going crazy or something. It fits in the House of Psychotic Women thing. So yeah, it looked really awesome. Which is funny that we didn't remember it because I remember adding it to my watch list right away when I saw it. I'm like, oh, this looks amazing. Like that was maybe my favorite trailer of the night too. Now that I'm thinking about it, like I'd totally forgotten. But it's my vibe. It's my vibe of movie. It has that weird like 70s like kind of art horror vibe. So yeah, cool.
Then was a film called Tombs of Horror.
That had Barbara Steele in it, right?
I might have been. I might have been like in the bathroom.
It had Barbara Steele in it, I believe, and it was like let me try to look it up here. Tombs of Horror, was that maybe there's a different name.
I'm getting a D&D campaign.
Yeah, it's not that.
Oh, really?
Castle of Blood, I think is the name, is the common name.
Oh, okay.
Because I remember that because I think I've seen the movie before. I've seen the movie before. I saw it recently. And it is we saw it. You were there actually at the Italian horror marathon. Do you remember the Barbara Steele movie?
Oh, we watched it there.
We watched it there. So it's confusing because the title is different. But
then I definitely was in the bathroom or something because I saw that trailer. I would have been like, oh hey.
Yeah. So it's called Castle of Blood is the title that I saw it under. You and I saw it under at the New Bev marathon recently. But it's basically like this guy is dared. It has like Poe in it, I think. It's maybe the main character is even Poe. I don't know. Somebody dares this guy to go spend the night in this castle.
Oh yeah,
and they send them once a year to this castle to be like doomed to be caught by the ghosts who are living in the castle.
Yeah.
And so he sees all these ghosts in the castle and has to like figure out how to get out. And Barbara Steele is in it, and she's like kind of the love interest, and she's a ghost. I mean, that's sort of revealed early, so I'm not spoiling too much, I think. But I liked it. I liked the movie, but I've already seen it. It says it's based on the story Dance Macabre by Edgar Allan Poe. Whether
I have a nice restoration of it though, but yes, we have already seen it.
We have.
It was pretty good at the New Bev.
Yeah.
On original 35.
Yep.
The final trailer of this final trailer pack was the aforementioned Ark of the Sun God.
Ark of the Sun God, yeah.
And then we watched our second and final short film of the night. Called Love from Mother Only, which, correct me if I'm wrong, Mike and Alex, is on the All the Haunts.
Yeah,
All Haunts 2. It's on All the Haunts 2.
It's on the second one.
Yeah, so it's a preview of a movie, basically a preview of what's going to be on the second box set.
Yeah.
It is available to watch on Vimeo.
Yeah, Kayla said she was excited. It is on Vimeo, is that what you said?
It's on Vimeo, yeah. I looked it up
Yeah.
because I wanted to see it again.
Kayla introduced it and set it up
Yeah.
really well, giving it some nice backstory. I really liked it a lot. Way better than the poop short.
It was better than the poop short for sure. So that was really fun. We liked that. And then the final movie, we're getting to the end here. The final movie of the night. Before we say what it is, it was a surprise to me, and I think David Gregory had said at some point it was one of the biggest movies that they've ever gotten.
Mm-hmm.
Which I was like, okay, what is that going to be? Because I was like, maybe it's Ghostbusters 2 or something. No, I'm like, what could it possibly be? That's the biggest movie. I'm just that was a joke I was making, but in a way, I go to these things hoping to see movies that are obscure and that I've never seen before. So I was a tiny bit disappointed to find out what the movie was, but also very excited that they got the rights to put it out, because it is one of my favorite movies ever. I've seen it many times, but it's hard to be mad. It's hard to be mad about having to see it again because it is so good. And that movie is
Delicatessen.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. A nice 4K restoration, which I found out, and I already had a 4K restoration from Studio Canal. So I don't know if Severin did any like extra work from Studio Canal's restoration. I'm sure they're going to have tons of great new bonus features for this release, and surely a great box and cover.
It looked beautiful.
It looked beautiful on the big screen. Yeah, I've never seen it on the big screen, unlike Mike. I have seen it many times, much like Mike, but not on the big screen. So, needless to say, I share his sentiments in the sense that I would have loved for all three to have been brand new films for me, and I saw 2 out of the 3 this year.
I also saw 2 out of 3, but different 2 out of 2.
Okay, speaking to that, I had seen none of them before.
Yeah, Alex
so
won.
for me, it was a really awesome experience. I won the night.
Last year's I had not seen any, so that was a real treat.
I can't be mad about seeing Delicatessen. It's like I can't. It's like Jean-Pierre Jeunet and Marc Caro directed it. They also directed a film called City of Lost Children, which is I often say is my favorite film ever made. So it's
you guys are also like film aficionados. You're film geeks.
Yeah,
okay?
so are you. So are you.
Okay, yeah, burgeoning.
You are too.
Burgeoning film
No,
geek.
come on. Don't undersell yourself.
We're in a horror trivia group together.
We are actually Super Mario Baba.
We are.
We should have worn our t-shirts.
Everybody who is going to the Severin Super Shock Film Festival is a film geek. Like people are not going there.
By default.
It's not like an off the street kind of thing. These are like
you walk through the doors at the threshold.
Are they showing the new Conjuring in here?
Yeah, no, like it's not. This is for us. I mean, that's what's great about the event in general. It's like it's like a celebration for nerds like us,
Yeah. Absolutely.
And if you thought 3 movies was insane, we actually followed it up with a midnight screening over at the New Bev. We watched
I was able to convince Alex
Only Lovers Left. It was new to me, and it was such a remarkable film. I appreciate the suggestion because I loved every film I saw that day. Even Super Vixens, guys. Don't be haters.
I like Super Vixens. I like
the whole quadruple feature was new for Alex, which is a huge win. Yes. Jim Jarmusch's Only Lovers Left Alive was playing an original 35mm at a midnight show at the New Bev, which is a hop, skip, and a jump.
Yeah, not part of the Severin Festival.
Yeah, a hop, skip, and a jump away from Brain Dead, where the Severin Festival. Although we drove there.
We didn't hop, skip, and jump.
But it's me and Mike's. We discussed favorite Jarmusch film, and I mean, for me it was a must. We were already right in the neighborhood, and we got out of the festival in perfect time. Timing all worked out, so we turned it from a triple feature to a quadruple feature.
Yeah. We're already sleep deprived.
Just to wrap the night up. But I will say, it was cool to see the films that they did decide to show, and then it was cool to see the previews of all the stuff that they're going to be releasing. So I'm sure there's a web page somewhere. I'll try to write this up so you can post it on the web too. But kind of a summary of all the stuff that they're announcing. I think it's really cool that they announce all that stuff. It's a fun event for all of us to be like, what's going to be the new, what's the next thing they're going to be releasing? And I think that's part of why people went so crazy on the Russ Meyer movie, is because everybody knows in that world, if you're like embedded in that world and reading about it, about the trials and tribulations of trying to get those Russ Meyer movies like restored. And there's like fear that the elements will be destroyed before like the movies are restored. Like they
Yeah.
won't be totally lost, but there's fear that like there won't be beautiful restorations like this one for all of his movies, which there should be. I mean, they all deserve it. He's an important, for whatever, for better or worse, he's an important historical filmmaker. I mean, he is. I like the
He
film.
is.
I'm not. I'm sounding critical. I'm sounding critical, but I'm not. I'm not. I enjoyed the film. I like his films.
It's
I
a
think
particular taste.
he had a very unique voice, and you know the women in his films are exploited in a sense, but also like empowered in a sense. And there's like a lot of just such cool women who are. I know one of your most popular interviews ever.
It is my most popular interview ever. Raven Delacroix. It's got over.
Yeah.
Last I looked at, over 500,000 views. So
Yeah.
I don't know what it's up to currently.
So there you go. There's a Russ Meyer tie-in for you with your show. And I know that was like a fun interview. You had said before that.
Yeah,
I've
she's really
listened.
cool.
I've listened to it also, and
yeah,
it's a cool interview. I like her. She's in other movies that I like too. Like she's in that Jim Wynorski movie, the Lost Empire, is it called? I think. Yeah. And some other stuff. Yeah.
I love when it comes full circle.
Yeah. Ties in. But I remain disappointed that Sherry Eubank didn't do more films, because I think she just
That is
should
the
have
big
been
disappointment of the night.
She should have been a star. She was a star in that movie, but she should have been like in everything. She should have been like the lead in all of his movies and everybody's movies.
Yeah.
Like
I all in all, someone who hadn't just watched Super Vixens a couple months ago, I did enjoy the night, even though I would have, after like I mentioned earlier, would have loved all three films to be a surprise. I've never seen Demons 5, even though I've seen Demons 5, not on the big screen and not this beautiful new restoration. Same thing with Delicatessen. And I love that film just as much as Mike. So it was still a great event and a great night overall, for sure. Great lineup.
We're all gonna go next year, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Got to keep the tradition alive.
sounds like a fun time. The goodie bag alone was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
It's worth the price of admission. I mean, you're
the
paying
ticket's
like
only
$35.
Yeah. Wow.
And like the DVD is, Blu-ray is worth that much, and you got 2 Blu-rays, and you got a book.
The book is worth more than that. I mean,
Yes.
yeah, the goodie bag is worth the price of admission. Then you're getting 3 films on top of that.
Oh yeah, we got a shirt. I didn't have my shirt.
Oh,
handy,
yeah,
but
you got a shirt in the
We all
goodie
got
bag.
a shirt in the goodie bag as
Yeah.
well. I forgot about that.
Mine's a Pepita Durango shirt.
Yeah, I got oh man, what is the name of the movie? It was a Dennis Steckler movie. Are you familiar? So Severin releases. This is actually funny, maybe thing to talk about. Do you have the Steckler box set? No.
No, I actually don't have that one. Believe it or not, I just grab my shirt.
You're good. So the incredibly strange films of Dennis Steckler, Ray Dennis Steckler. Sorry. Severin does do box sets of filmmakers that I'm not sure deserve box sets, but at the same time, it's like the work that they're doing is historic preservation. Beyond just like releasing material, it like if these Steckler films were not restored by them, nobody would do it. And they sell enough. They know they have an audience of enough people to buy them to like make it worthwhile. Because the Steckler films are kind of like famously not great, let's just say. The T-shirt I got was for The Thrill Killers, which is one of his films. I've actually not seen it. You got the Perdita Durango shirt, yeah?
I got that as a tattoo, Jeremy, in the back.
Where?
I got it as not like
not an actual tattoo.
Not an actual
you got the we all got the little tattoo of this, and then I got
the Steckler. Sorry, just one more thing about Steckler. The incredibly strange films of Ray Dennis Steckler is named after his film, which has the best title, one of his early films, The Incredibly Strange Creatures Who Stopped Living and Became Mixed Up Zombies. The film is not great, but it has a good title.
The name is.
The name is great. The name is great. So they do. What I'm saying is, like, even when Severin's doing stuff like Al Adamson and Ray Dennis Steckler, where it's like the films are not necessarily incredible films. Have you seen Al Adamson films?
Oh yeah, like Frankenstein vs. Dracula.
Yeah. So they're not. Nobody necessarily thinks they're great films, but they're maybe like historically or culturally interesting and important films.
They're fun to watch all the different extras that's on the disc.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's cool that they do that. I mean, it's cool that they make these box sets. Again, these would be like filmmakers whose work is like lost. I mean, really, like nobody cares. But they're doing the work to restore them, and they're treating them with like, you think a film like some of these Steckler films. I just watched Las Vegas Serial Killer, which is like an 80s film by him. It's super boring. It's a terrible film. But like they treat it with the same respect as they do Delicatessen. Like they do the same work to restore it. And there's something about that.
Beautiful set with all kinds of a boatload of bonus features and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. So, the work that they're doing, it's it's important work for preservation. And that's the thing about physical media, I think that, people don't think about, is that without this like preservation effort and without this like, these new scans, and the only way that the scans are going to be worth the time and money to make is if they can sell, X number of physical media items to cover the costs, because they're not going to make the money back on streaming or something like that. And then you're not getting the proper restoration even on streaming. If you want a good quality restoration and you want to present it properly, it has to be on physical media at this point. So
agreed, 100%.
And we're all collectors here.
Yes.
Huge Jeremy's still looking for the Laserdisc version of all that.
Can we get a Laserdisc of Delicatessen stat?
Yeah.
Do you have a working Laserdisc player?
I do not.
No, all right. You're just a fan of them.
This was just a gag. I'm not even a Laserdisc fan.
You're a fraud.
Wow. Yeah, that's a freaking lie.
I think
one man gag, another man lie. Yeah, no.
I think almost nobody has a working Laserdisc player. Even people who are into Laserdiscs, the lasers apparently burn out and they're really hard to fix, and nobody's manufacturing them anymore. So I've read, like, for a lot of people, they even if they collect Laserdiscs, they have them, they just can't even play them. And then the glue on the Laserdisc, because they're double-sided, they basically have printed on two sides and glued them together, and the glue all wears out after like 20 years or 30 years or whatever. So all the old Laserdiscs are like falling apart, and like, so they're not really, it's not a sustainable media format.
No.
Unfortunately. Yeah.
I like the new handle.
Thank you.
No, ants on fire. Yeah.
So that's everything that I can think of to talk about for for this.
Sounds like a great night.
Yeah.
I will say, hold on, Mike, fill like 1 minute of time for a second.
Okay, fill 1 minute of time. I don't know what Jeremy's doing, but it's very mysterious.
He's lighting his pants on fire.
It's gonna be very exciting.
I mean the laser disc.
Yeah, tonight. Speaking of boutique labels, tonight at midnight. I don't know if it's Pacific or Eastern, so it's sometime soon.
Midnight Eastern, 9 p.m.
Okay, Eastern. Vinegar Syndrome is having their sale. So another label.
So very soon, an hour from now.
An hour from now. Another label that does a lot of cool stuff like Severin. I'm not comparing. They do different things. They have different focuses. They're both great, and they're both. Anybody who collects stuff loves both.
They're probably my two highest collection, like for the boutique labels, of which there are many. I think I have the most of Vinegar Syndrome and Severin. They just put out a lot of great stuff and put a lot of care into their releases.
Yeah.
And shout out to Arrow as well.
Yeah.
Shout out to Arrow as well.
Yeah. So these are all
Mondo Macabre.
Yeah, there's all these boutiques, and as some of we Sophia and I sometimes shoot some bonus stuff for some of these releases, and that's always really cool to be part of. Shooting kind of the documentary material. We shoot a lot of interviews and other things. I mentioned the Return of the Living Dead one before, but like for Vinegar Syndrome, we shot an interview for the Prophecy box set that they just put out. We shot an interview with Patrick Lussier for one of the Prophecy documentaries, because he directed Prophecy 3.
I still have your Blu-ray for that. You're never gonna get it back.
I have. That's honestly, you can keep it because I have the full. I bought the box set. So. Wait, but it doesn't have 4 and 5 in that box set, so I do need it back at some point.
Okay, I'll get it back
at some point.
What I grabbed was in closing. I wanted to. It ties into what we were talking about, but also for any folks watching the show that live in Los Angeles, like Mike and Alex and I. This is one of the items I got at the stand, the book,
sweet.
House of the Psychotic Women, which is not only a fantastic book written by
Kayla.
And I mean, again, this is the extended version, so they re-released it. It's a really thick book, a lot of great stuff in there. Yes, the expanded edition.
Wait, but shout out to
Are you gonna
Starry
shout out
Eyes
the
on the
that's what I was about
cover.
to
Yeah, I
say.
love the cover.
Yeah.
So the cover that was what I was about to say for anybody listening or watching.
It's about to sell out. They're showing it on
Yeah, there's
September
only 6 tickets
26th.
left or something. So they're showing. So the cover, of course, is one of an absolutely terrific film called Starry Eyes. If somebody doesn't know, and they're showing Cinematic Void, which was mentioned earlier by Mike. So again, full circle. We're tying everything in. Is screening this at the Los Feliz Theaters. What
September
date?
26th.
Yes. And the writer-director Kevin is a friend of all of ours, I believe. So go support him and that film and this book and everything.
and Kevin
September
and Dennis.
23rd, September 23rd at Los Feliz, Starry Eyes, and there's
Yep.
gonna be Q&A with Kevin and Alexis and Dennis. They're gonna be there.
Yep, all of them will be there to talk about it. And so Kevin goes to the Cinematic Void. It's kind of fun because we sort of tease him, but he goes to all the Cinematic Void screenings, so we always hang out with him at the Cinematic Void. So they've been announcing they're going to be showing Starry Eyes. So whenever that happens, everybody like cheers extra loud because it's like he's always there in the audience. He's a super nice guy as well.
Yeah.
And I love Starry Eyes. I mean, I loved Starry Eyes before I met
great.
him. Even. Yeah.
Alex Esso, former guest on the show.
Yeah, Alex Esso
Yeah,
is
she's
awesome.
fantastic.
Yeah, she's really, really incredible. Did you ever have Kevin and Dennis on?
No, I should try to
you should reach out to them. Yeah. I met Kevin and Dennis at Boston Underground, actually, tying back in.
I'll bring that up.
When the Starry Eyes played there, and I'm trying to I can't remember if Blood of the Tributes is playing there or Magnetic. One of our films is also playing at Boston Underground, and we met them at the filmmaker, brunch and hung out with them for quite a while. And so I knew, I kind of knew Kevin before, and then I re-met him in LA later and kind of became friends with him there. So, but yeah, he's great. I know he's working on some new stuff, and I look forward to that.
Me too.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So,
right.
anything? Alex, where can people find you?
You can
See
find
what
me
you're
on
up to.
Instagram. My Instagram is Alex Unchained. I just
I like it. Yeah.
I just worked on a feature back in July. Script supervising for Bria Grant and Ed Doherty. It's got a pretty fun cast. It's called Grind. Got like Christopher Marquette, James Paxton in it. And yeah, I'll just be working on projects with these clowns probably coming up.
Sounds
Yeah.
good. How
Well,
about
we've been
Mr.
all working together. Wait, let me interrupt that. We've all been working together with our buddy James Balsamo, who
Who's
you
been
know
on
as
the
well,
show,
who's
right?
been on the show. I'm wearing my
Anytime.
DieStar, his new company, DieStar Pictures. Let me give them a
Gorgeous.
plug.
Really great
Oh
shirt.
damn!
yeah.
I should be wearing
Plug,
mine too.
plug,
I was
plug.
wearing. I forgot
Uh,
to point out that I'm wearing my Severin shirt.
Your
Oh,
Severin
nice.
shirt.
for
But
the
uh,
feed.
My
but
shirt
we-
trumps all you guys.
but all three of us have been working with James on Robot Dracula, so hopefully that'll come out later this year, I think.
Yeah, that's gonna be
Yeah,
fun.
we actually all not just work behind the scenes, we act in it.
Yeah, to my great chagrin.
I don't know. I've been loving the pictures of you in it, Jeremy.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank
and
you.
everyone, honestly.
Yeah, well, Joe does great effects and makes
Yeah,
me.
Joe Caster.
I
Yes,
look
it-
best. I look best when I have blood all over me. Apparently, everybody loves those photos.
But yeah, so Joe Castro, our bud, has been doing the effects on that. He also made the mask for Once and Future Smash and Endzone 2, and we worked with him on a number of other projects. So it's all family at this point. It's all, yeah.
And how can people follow you, Jeremy, if you want them to? Not to like your home.
Oh
but,
well, yeah. My address is.
Unless you want them to. I don't know, yeah. Up to you.
Drop
but
find
I'm
my
not telling you the
location.
apartment number, so you got to knock on all the apartments and hope that I answer. No, yeah, my handle's very easy. It's just Jeremy Long on Instagram, and Jeremy Long most places, so you can find me pretty easily.
So you were the first one
it
to take
the
it on the
I was the
Jeremy?
first one, just at Jeremy Long. I've had people message me that wanting to buy that handle.
Really?
Not
Well, there
even-
is like a porn star named Jeremy Long, right?
Yes, there's Asian male porn star Jeremy Long. He's in jail now, I think. So I don't.
Oh,
Think,
yes.
I don't think he uses Instagram, but
Yeah.
He could have a social media handler do
Did
that.
you set? Did you set him up?
I
set him up?
frame him. So
Yeah,
that I can know Jeremy Long.
You're like there could be
I
only
will
one.
be the only one. Yeah.
Super Jeremy?
My mom was very concerned when she had found that out. What I've told her when I found out that there was an Asian male porn star, Jeremy Long. She said, now all my friends are gonna think my son's an Asian male porn star. I said, I think your friends watch too much Asian male porn. No, it's just Jeremy Long. And I'll give one more quick shout out since we're all shamelessly self-promoting to the Disconnected podcast, created and hosted by my friend Ryan. I produce it. It's all about everything we've been talking about tonight: physical media, collecting physical media, keeping physical media alive, and we have a lot of great guests on there as well, including some of the people we were talking about tonight as well.
Oh, cool. And Michael Epstein, how can people follow you?
There's there were too many.
Why would they want?
I wouldn't recommend it, but yeah, there are too many Michael Epsteins, so I had trouble, and I had to add the J to my name. And now there are multiple Michael J. Epsteins as well involved in film. So it's very confusing. But you can find me just about everywhere on social media at Michael J. Epstein. I managed to beat him up and take that name. I'm going to be working with Nasty Neil over here on Arbor Day coming up. And we talked before this about the release of our films that we worked together on, Once a Future Smash and End Zone 2. So can't get rid of me too easily, I guess, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. And I don't believe there's an Asian male porn star named Michael J. Epstein.
Not that I know of.
Not yet.
Not yet.
That can change. I'm going to bail out Jeremy Long from jail and then get him pay to have his name
on one condition, right?
Yeah. All right. I mean, I'm down. I'm down for shenanigans. I'm down for shenanigans. But
Wait,
yeah,
can we drop our letterboxd?
Oh yeah. Well, you can find me on Letterboxd, Michael J. Epstein, also.
There can only be one.
Yeah. I've actually. Speaking of Letterboxd, sorry to interrupt, but I started using Letterboxd as full-on social media. I just make I'm not even reviewing movies. I'm just writing social media posts about the movies. So I'll talk about how it relates to what I'm working on, or other I don't care at this point. That's what I'm doing with it, and I think it's been kind of fun. I've been connecting with a bunch of people who seem really cool, and I'm learning about crazy movies that I didn't know about. And I've just started doing that a few weeks ago. And since then I've had a whole bunch of people kind of really engage with what I'm doing. So I think that's a fun thing to do. So I'm recommending that to everybody, and please, add me. And I love to see what people are watching.
There was actually a guy at the Severin event that we were just talking about.
Yes.
Who came up to our aisle during one of the intermissions and said, "Are you Michael J. Epstein, the Asian male porn star?" He said, "Are you Michael J. Epstein?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'm one of them." And the guy said that he follows him on Letterboxd and loves his reviews.
So,
really?
And said he's extremely recognizable. This guy.
What I realized later was that guy who came up to me, who I wasn't sure at the time, is Mark Miller, who is the president of Encyclopocalypse, the company that does the novelizations of the films. So I think he was there, especially because Severin has ties to them, doing that. But that's who it is. So his name is Mark Miller. He's a cool guy. And Cinepocalypse is I said Cinepocalypse. Encyclopocalypse. Is what I meant. Cinepocalypse, different thing, not related. Encyclopocalypse, the company that does all the novelizations. Really cool stuff. I've really loved everything I've gotten from them so far. So definitely check out Encyclopocalypse, and I guess follow him on Letterboxd too if you want.
You should.
I'm also just Jeremy Long on Letterboxd, and I write a lot of things on there. Sometimes if I'm behind on reviews, I'll only write a couple sentences, but usually I go pretty in depth. Right? I write writing a couple paragraphs for my Letterboxd reviews.
If you hurry up,
Perez 93, and I just try to be funny. I'm just here to make you giggle.
And she gave the poop short 5 stars.
She did get
well deserved.
That's how you can tell it's her genuine account. If you look and you're like poop short 5 stars, that's
5 stars.
Genuine.
If
Alex.
Mongolitos has 1 fan, it's me. If Mongolitos has no fans, I'm dead.
Words we should all live by.
Yeah, well,
exactly.
I can't. Yeah, if you hurry up and add me on Letterboxd, you can watch me watch the rest of the witchcraft movies. I've watched 1 through 4 so far.
How many are there? You said there was
16. There's 16 witchcraft movies.
Word.
I've noticed
Is it
something
over?
interesting. Sorry, I don't want to. We won't drag this out, but I've noticed something interesting, which is that the witchcraft movies, the first one did, the second, third, and fourth don't really have a lot of witchcraft in them. Like kinda, like a
Yeah.
kind. I mean, the guy's a warlock, kinda, but it's like it's not. If you were like, what would you see in a witchcraft movie? Almost none of that is in the witchcraft movie.
You think they're just like they just randomly put that on them after they?
No,
were
because
made?
they're all like they're actually all tied together. They all
they are?
so far 1 through 4 so far follow the same character. So they're not like it's not like the Hellraiser movies where they're like, I don't know, we'll have Pinhead show up and then it's a Hellraiser movie.
Yeah.
They're all like fundamentally about the same character. Like it has a little bit of a an Omen vibe in a way because he's like a kid. In the first one, he's a baby, and he's gonna be the next like evil leader. And spoiler, they rescue him or whatever. Then in the second one, he's a teen who's played by like a 35-year-old, which is weird. Who doesn't know about his past and that he's like has warlock powers. And again, they have to deal with that. And then in the third and fourth, he's like a lawyer. So it very much has the vibe of like the Omen 3, where he's like suddenly a lawyer, like doing stuff. Yeah, politician.
Neil has to put a discllaimer up at the beginning of the episode now.
Spoilers.
Please stop watching at
No,
3 hour 12-minute mark if you're planning on watching the entire 16 part.
Well, Mike watches them, so nobody else has to.
That's true.
Yeah,
Someone must like that they made 16.
I don't. I mean, they're all made for like under 100K. They're all made like at budget levels that like we operate at. Like so, they're not elaborate films. Let's just say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
Anyway,
often wondered who really loves all the Children of the Corn movies.
Yeah.
There's many of them.
there's
Maybe not
10?
quite as many as Board.
10,
Witchcraft,
maybe
but-
10.
I think there's more Amityville, and we all know that.
Yeah,
Well,
that's what I've been pushing for Michael to watch all the Amityville.
there are
movies.
not more legitimate Amityville movies. Just putting the name Amityville on your movie does not make it an Amityville movie. This is a sore point for me.
There are a lot though.
There's like 8 or something, but that's it. Children of the Corn, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11 Children of the Corn movies.
Wow.
I think one's a remake though. So
Yeah.
there's a remake and a
Maybe
reboot. So
Oh,
there's
wow.
two of them are, whatever.
Uh-huh.
There are more Puppet Master movies for sure. Because there's like, if you include spin-offs too, there's like maybe 14, 15 Puppet Master movies.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know that anything beats Witchcraft.
No, the
not
Amityville
sure.
Witchcraft's coming soon.
There's 16. I got to get the rights to Witchcraft and make Witchcraft 17. That's my dream.
Your newest dream that you just discovered a couple.
The newest dream. I would like to not do that actually.
Dream revoked.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. The most recent Witchcraft number 16 came out in 2016 and had a budget of $25,000. So, yeah, the lowest budget one, the 10th one, had a budget of $16,000.
Wow.
So you
Number
can
16 killed the franchise.
Yes, once you get to 16, it's tough. I don't know.
Take 16.
Do they ever go to space in these movies?
I'll find out. I'll let you know. So far, no space. But so far, they're pretty much all the same thing, following the same characters. And I guess the same character. Now I'm looking at this chart on Wikipedia. The same character is in 14 of the 16 movies, played by different actors. But 14, yeah. So I guess there's a continuity, because that was my question is like, is there any continuity in these? But there is, I guess. There's only one film that appears to have none of the characters from the other films. So
which number in the franchise?
that is number. They're labeled weird. So hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4.
I happen
5,
to be
6,
wearing
7,
like a witch kind
8.
of shirt here. So.
I like your shirt.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Witchcraft 8, Salem's Ghost.
A one-off.
appears to be a one-off.
Well, don't
It
spoil
says-
yourself, Mike.
I'm reading. So continuity. It says Witchcraft 8 is a major departure from the first 7 in all following films. Rather than reviving the character, blah blah blah, it made a standalone chapter, which would spawn a saga revolving around Salem's Ghost However, the series never materialized.
Man,
So
it's like the Halloween 3 of the.
it's the Halloween
witchcraft.
3. Yep, exactly.
Halloween reckoned itself sooner. Too.
Witchcraft 8. Witchcraft 8 is the Halloween 3 of the.
That's
Witchcraft
what you should do. Is you want to make a sequel to Witchcraft 8?
Yeah, Witchcraft 8 Part 2.
Right.
I don't want to make a sequel to any of the Witchcraft movies.
You want to novelize Witchcraft 8?
Now we're getting into something that's a little more interesting, I think. Yeah. They're all I don't know if they're all
very lucrative.
Very lucrative, yeah, for sure. I don't know if they're all produced by Troma. The Troma bumper has been at the top
Oh, really?
of
I
all
didn't
the
know there were
movies.
Troma movies.
The Troma there's a production company called Vista Street Entertainment that makes them. But the Troma bumper has been at the top of all of them. So I don't know if they were contracted through Troma. Like Troma might have been just the distributor. I don't know if Troma. I'm not clear on Troma's involvement, to be honest. I'm not a scholar of the Witchcraft movies.
Not yet.
Not yet. Maybe by the end I will write a book called Witchcraft.
Witchcraft 17. You'll be writing the script.
My name's
17.
Michael J. Epstein, and I watched all the Witchcraft movies. So you.
Yeah. So they go to the beach. Yeah, I don't think they go to the
them
beach,
to go
but
to
that
the
would be great. I wish it were in space. Maybe that's the thing. I pitch them. I got to find out who owns the rights to Witchcraft, and I got to be like, look, I've got a pitch for you because you haven't done shit since 2016. So they're sitting on this franchise. Here's the pitch: witches in space.
You could premiere by the 10-year anniversary of the 16th one.
Yeah, the original one was 1988, so I guess we could aim for 2028 and make it the 40th anniversary.
I mean, we have our new mission. Let's start with a Kickstarter now.
Nothing makes me feel older than thinking that the first Witchcraft movie came out 40 years ago.
Can you put a 4-year like we're starting the crowdfunder now and it's going to run for 4 years?
I mean,
yeah.
Instead of like 30 days or
as much money as you want to give us over the course of the next 4 years.
48 months.
I'm like almost curious to find out who has the rights to these movies. It would be really interesting to get the rights and just be like, I'm gonna reboot Witchcraft. I mean,
Anna Ocean is into this idea.
You could just make a movie called Witchcraft
right.
Because it's such a generic title. That's the thing. So maybe the thing to do is just be like, I'm just going to make a movie called Witchcraft 17. That doesn't matter. They're probably not going to sue me. They've been spending $20,000. They've only been spending $20,000 on these movies. I don't think they can hire lawyers. I don't think they have the money for lawyers. Anyway, I'll leave it at that.
We really went off on a Witchcraft tangent there.
Yeah, it's the most we've ever talked about the Witchcraft series ever on the show, I believe.
Most anybody has ever
the biggest
talked about
Witchcraft plug you could have had in 2024.
Yep, they are. They're very happy.
Well, if they want to hire me to write and direct Witchcraft 17, I'm open. I'm open to discussions.
You're open till 2028.
Yeah,
because that's when it has to premiere. So they better call you soon.
You can make a few by then, and then like number 20 would come out.
It takes a while to make a film, you know that.
Well, not too long if they made 16. And
I mean,
second unit.
Die-Star Pictures, the shirt I'm wearing. James is fast at those Die-Star Pictures.
James turns them out.
James would be shooting 2 movies in the same day.
At
the same time.
I shot 2 movies simultaneously for him. Die-Star one was a Die-Star Pictures movie.
I have to be honest. I always say that Once a Future Smash is my first feature film, but I am in a James Balsamo movie, so technically, I was in a feature film before.
Yeah, absolutely, you were.
Yep.
It is, and James is a good guy. I love James.
Yeah, we all love James. Him and I are working on a new script as well. That's top secret at the moment. But
oh wow. Witchcraft 17?
Witchcraft 17. What are you doing?
Witchcraft 18.
I had the claim to Witchcraft 17. What are you doing? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it would be nice to get involved in that Witchcraft series. Make that big, make the big Witchcraft money. Make some of that Witchcraft.
Pick something, Mike. Pick a link.
So that Witchcraft cash. That $20,000.
Buy all the Severin releases you want.
That's right. Anyway, sorry, we've gone off the rails. We've kept Neil long enough.
Witchcraft box set.
I mean, I'm surprised there isn't one. I don't. I like
Severin, if you're watching,
yeah.
get the rights to all 16.
I don't know if they're. I mean, we don't need to dig into this right now, but I don't even know if they're all on Blu-ray.
I mean,
They
if
definitely
Troma somehow has the rights, they just put out a beautiful 4K restoration box set of the Toxic Avenger trilogy.
Yeah, but that's like their big. That's their showcase piece.
Quadrilogy. Yeah.
That's not their. They're not going to give that treatment to everything.
To Witchcraft.
Troma was putting out Blu-rays for a while. Troma was doing Blu-rays of every title. I'm talking again, but I worked on this movie called Hunky Holocaust, which Neil knows the people involved in that as well.
Actually, how I got to know you was
it is actually that's true. I met Neil through Honky Holocaust indirectly, through the people involved in it. Yeah. And Troma put that out, and they put out a nice Blu-ray release of it. Which now it's so hard. This is the thing. I mean, talking about Severin. Sorry to bring it back around. And this is a thing related to our Once and Future Smash and End Zone 2. Nobody wants to do physical media releases of new movies. Like everybody who has distribution for their like they sign with the distributor. The distributors are like, we're not putting this out on Blu-ray. Like it's not going to happen. Never going to pay for it. And that was why we ran a Kickstarter campaign and wanted to, no matter what we were going to sign in terms of a distro and deal with that, which we ended up we're doing kind of self distro. We never wanted to sign away Blu-ray rights. We wanted to guarantee that somebody was going to put out the movies on Blu-ray because it's important to us that physical media, is sort of maintained with it, and that we were able to put some of the materials that we have, these bonus materials and everything, and make a nice package out of it and do a proper pressing, not just like, I mean, I don't want to, I'm not like going to sound like I'm attacking people who do this, but I don't want to do a release of our movies just like on print on demand through like Kunaki or something. Right. I want like a proper like glass mastered pressing of the movie. Like I want a real Blu-ray that's pressed properly, that's going to last a long time, that's going to play nicely and everything. So we did that. We did a Kickstarter and raised money to cover it because it is expensive, and that's how I know Severin they need to sell these things. They need to make some money to make it worthwhile to do all the scans and everything. And it's great that there's this rabid base of people who are going to buy every release and kind of cover the cost of that and make sure that physical media is preserved. So
long live.
So buy from Severin and preserve physical media before it fades.
That's my take home for the day. and that explains why the Witchcraft movies are not all on Blu-ray. I mean, maybe they are. I actually don't know. I bet they're not. I would bet like Witchcraft 12 is not on Blu-ray.
I would bet. Yeah, I think probably half of them only have a DVD release.
Yeah. Yep. I looked up Witchcraft 12. I just picked a random one. I looked it up on Blu-ray.com. Only DVD release.
Yeah, that's a shame.
So Severin, get your act together.
I expect next year's Super Shock event to have Witchcraft as one of the surprise films.
Neil, had you seen any of the films that were at Severin?
No, I haven't.
Listed?
No,
you've seen Delicatessen.
Yeah, I've seen Delicatessen. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. Yeah. But no,
I love the vibe of that one. That was so charming in such a gritty little way.
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah. I was curious about a lot of those though. I'm curious about these shorts. Especially Alex gave one the 5-star poop eating ones.
I'm sure it's on the web somewhere.
I did give it 5 stars. I'm telling you.
I mean, watch at your own risk.
Love from Mother Only was such an incredible segment.
It was good.
Really...
that was legit.
Here I am in the balls. I was trying to find a picture. So,
what is it?
I love that shirt.
Which movie is that?
Cool as Hell 2.
Cool as Hell. Yeah.
Oh, James's film. Yeah.
Yeah. I gained 160 pounds just to be in that movie.
Just to be in the. Yeah. I've never seen that Cool
shirt,
as Hell 2.
Alex. So that shirt. When the movie The Fan came out with John Travolta, he's wearing that shirt and he's saying it's one of a kind. And I was like, it's not one of a kind. I was wearing it for years, but then I'm like, is this character based off me? He's wearing a backpack and he's got my shirt on. He's a big horror fan.
I
Did
would
he
love
do?
if they've just been secretly spying on you for years.
Yeah.
Did he do anything crazy in the movie?
Oh
I
yeah,
never
very,
saw
very,
it.
very
Oh
crazy
yeah.
thing. Yeah.
I went to the Jeremy. Were you at the premiere of that? Because I went to the premiere of that here
With Fred Durst?
with Fred Durst and Travolta there, and it
I was
was
not at
awesome.
that.
It was amazing. It was so good.
It was
I
at the
loved it.
Chinese, I imagine?
No, it was at the Egyptian.
Oh.
It was incredible. The Q&A was incredible. I think the Q&A might be online somewhere, but it was. I kind of loved the movie. I mean, it is what it is. I kind of love the movie, but I love the experience of being there for the premiere, and I love the audience response. And they were all like, "You're gonna win an Academy Award for this performance and stuff." And it was great.
Whoa.
It was really incredible.
And
It
he
was
did
really-
not.
He did not win an Academy Award.
He certainly
Not a
Disappointing.
lot of people do.
And if he did, he better thank Neil in the.
He better thank Neil. But I had, yeah, that's it.
Oh, he's missing the cap.
He is. He had the hair instead.
And he didn't commit to the gaining weight for the role either.
Exactly. Yeah.
They-
Lightweight over there. Yeah.
I gotta see if the premiere is available. So if you look up Fanatic premiere Q&A,
That's right, the Fanatic.
I think this might be it. I'm looking.
The whole
Yes,
Q&A?
the whole Q&A, hour long. It is well worth your time. It's on the moviereport.com on YouTube.
Cute. Okay.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Share that.
Yep.
In the
So when you watch that and you're enjoying the Q&A, you're soaking it in. I was there live experiencing it.
We might see your head in there.
Yeah,
huh?
I was
my head.
wondering if we could see it.
Very
You might see my
distinctive
head.
But by the way, Honky Holocaust was put out by Ungovernable. Well, they made Ungovernable Films. Ungovernable Films. It's a hard word to say. And Paul McElharney, which I haven't talked to in many, many years.
I actually talked to him sort of recently about something
really?
unrelated. He emailed me about something totally unrelated. So he's alive and well.
Yeah.
He's
That's
just finished
interesting.
law
Good.
school. He was just getting out of law school.
Yeah, I actually found this out recently too,
Yeah.
but not through him. I
yeah.
Googled him to see what's happening, and so yeah.
He emailed me to ask me a music law question, basically.
Interesting.
Yeah, because he was writing up a thesis or something like that, and he sent me his. I haven't actually read it, but he sent it to me, and I want to read it.
You
It's on
better
my-
get
it's in
on
my
that,
inbox.
Mike.
Well, it's been in my
There's a
inbox for like
deadline
6
for
months.
that.
It's been in my
Yeah,
inbox. No, it's done. I mean, he graduated. He's
Okay,
finished.
he already turned that in.
Yeah. No. He wasn't waiting for me to like review it to turn it in. He just. sent it to me.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
Yes,
But,
he's doing good.
He's a good guy. Yeah, all those guys
Yeah.
I enjoy. I talked to Dave Quasi recently too, and I haven't talked to Nick in a while. But they're all good fellows. The Ungovernable, which they don't do stuff anymore.
No. So years ago, when he was making his last film that he never finished, I was making a documentary with him, which it was supposed to be about what people the sacrifices of making an independent film. And so I spent a day with Paul. I spent a day with like all of the different people involved, and then he just stopped making the movie. So nothing ever happened with the documentary. But I have thought about the last couple of years, like because I still have all the footage, to make an ending of it, to go back and revisit everybody and see what they're doing now.
You should totally do it. It's interesting.
That sounds really interesting.
Yeah. I never saw. They shot like a doc for the last film that they did, The Streets Run Red.
Mm-hmm.
That was finished, the last finished
Yeah,
film.
yeah.
And I shot some stuff for that for them too, like interviews for me. And they made a doc. It's like listed on IMDb, but I've never seen it, and it's not on the DVD, so I don't know. I know I should ask him whatever happened to it if it ever came out.
Yeah, because I recorded. That's where I met them in person at the rap party for that, and I recorded like, some stuff for the Streets Run Red.
That was where you shot the thing.
I shot something separate for them, just like interviews at their rap party, and I think that's on the Blu-ray, but I'm not positive.
I don't think there's any bonus stuff on the Streets Run Red.
Okay. Well, they were going to use it on, so I don't know.
No, it might. There was never a blue release. There's only a
maybe
DVD release. Yeah. So I don't think they're. I mean, I could be wrong. Now we're just getting into inside baseball. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
But that was where I got. Jeremy and Alex know of my tales of filming questionable things. The Ungovernable Force guys was my first real experience filming like.
Oh, okay.
The
origin.
What we would call questionable things, like there's.
I've been on set for several questions.
Yeah. So the first time I filmed somebody urinating was on what's it called? Jesus. What the hell is it called?
Gay Jesus.
Gay Jesus. Gay Jesus. Which is all right film. I
think
like
it's
Gay
good movie.
Jesus. Yeah. So one of the demons, she had to pee, and they were like, do you want to just pee into this vase that we have here? And she's like, okay. And so we filmed her peeing into the vase. That was my close-ups. That was my that was something. And then in Streets Run Red, there's unsimulated masturbation of a guy, the killer filmed that. So that was, so when I tell Jeremy and Alex, like I filmed some things in my day.
And you didn't like the short about pooping? Like that's your wheelhouse.
Where he draws the line. Yeah.
There is.
Well,
There's
he
a guy.
didn't shoot it. That's the problem.
I think there's an
Yeah.
there's an unsimulated guy pooping in Ungovernable Force, I believe, but I did not film it.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
in the
I'm
movie.
not-
It looks unsimulated.
It sounds like.
I
that
mean,
was
if
right up my alley.
if it's pretty hard to not,
Yeah.
simulate.
So they definitely went for it. They went for it with their stuff, which is great. I had fun doing it. It was a good time. And now sometimes I'm filming, things that are graphic. Like I was just celebrating my Die Star Pictures shirt here. I filmed I was the cinematographer on a film for James that's called just came out called Slasher Fetish. And it's I guess what it sounds like. It's very it's very graphic. It's very graphic if you like tickling.
If you like tits and ass.
And tickling and feet.
And yogurt or whatever.
It wasn't yogurt, but it's some gross stuff, yeah. But yeah, so it's graphic. It's for the people who like the uncensored kinds of stuff. I wouldn't call it pornography if anybody's thinking that, but it's
softcore.
It's heading in that direction.
It's something that could be easily featured on the Melusine site.
So we've been there. We've been there. So if anybody is interested in that, Slasher Fetish is available through Walmart and stuff now. You can buy it. It is. It is. It's available on the website.
Kind of very funny that
Yeah, no, it's funny. I mean, no, I was laughing. I was saying it as a joke.
Yeah.
I'm not. I mean, it's literally true, but I was saying it to be humorous as well.
But also
yeah.
for real, cannot recommend enough when Severin releases Mask of Satan, Delicatessen, and Super Vixens. You buy a copy because they are all amazing. The restorations look like they're going to be beautiful. I'm sure they're going to be, like Jeremy said, like with a boatload of special features.
Yeah,
on all three.
They always do a really good job with that. That's one of the things that's really, I think, important to them. And I know David does a lot of the material himself. He makes a lot of it himself, so he shoots a lot of it, and then he hires people to shoot a lot of it as well. So they always have good bonus stuff on all those discs. All these companies really do. That's their big thing. And like I was saying, we get hired a bit to shoot. We shot a lot of stuff for Arrow. We've shot a lot of stuff for Kino. We shot that one thing for Vinegar Syndrome. I don't think we've ever shot for Severin, but I think it's because if it's in LA, he probably just shoots it himself because he does.
Right.
So we're kind of like on the only thing I shot for him was in Boston when we shot John Socks for the song is called Young Fast Iranians, which is a great song if you look it up if anybody's curious about that, by the FUs. And it plays in the car. It's when the punks first appear in Return of the Living Dead, when they're in the car. It's like the first appearance of the punks. And it used to play the Damn song in the original theatrical release, and then they couldn't get the rights to that for home media, so they replaced it with this FUs song. All right, I'll stop talking now.
No. But I do have to go soon because I have to film Michael St. Michael's for
okay.
Thing.
That's fun.
I was
What
gonna
an
do it
angel.
before, but we're gonna do it after because I ran out of time earlier.
We love Michael.
Yeah.
Are you gonna film with him like in person?
No, it's gonna be virtual. He's gonna be part of the pitch for the campaign.
Okay, awesome. We'll tell him we
But
say hi.
Yeah.
Him in the movie, Michael will be filming out
in person. Yeah, we'll film it in person.
Yeah.
We've been shooting extra stuff with him, so we've been hanging out with him a little to do. Well, I guess it's announced because we just did. You're in Jim McDonough's movie as well, right?
Yes, yeah, Manicorn.
Yeah, so our buddy Jim McDonough is doing a movie called Manicorn. It's a feature film version of his short. If you have not seen the short Manicorn, it's one of the greatest films ever made. And I am extremely privileged because Jim basically said to me, he's like, can you give me any advice on writing this as a feature? Because I just don't know what to do, but I really want to make a feature of it. And I was like, let's just get together and like brainstorm it and go over it. And so I did that with him, and I helped him come up with the ideas for it and outline it. And he's like, would you be willing to like sit down and help write this with me? And so I wrote the script with him. And so he's been making that. Neil, you're in it. I don't know who you play exactly, but I probably wrote...
I play my own twin.
Oh, okay. Cool.
John Travolta.
Are you one of the guards?
Yeah,
I'm
both guards.
You're one of the guards? Yeah, you're both guards. Yeah, okay,
yeah.
okay. Yeah. So I wrote some portions of whatever it is that you're doing as well.
I played them both differently, which was kind of weird. I had to remember which shirt was how I played the other ones.
Yeah, because this is a crazy, for anybody who's not familiar with Jim's work, and he's an amazing filmmaker. He's genuinely just one of my favorite filmmakers because he's a crazy out there films. Really talented, super nice guy, but he does a lot of it on green screen at home. Like, so he shoots most of it on green screen in his basement and does crazy weird shit. So it has an aesthetic of like being like very artifice driven, very, very strange and artificial. And so people are, like Neil's stuff, I'm sure was shot on green screen or So
it was all
so he'll be inserted into it. All the backgrounds are kind of made, manufactured and post and put together, and there's all kinds of weird effects and stuff. And if you look him up, he's done a number of films that are really fun, but Manicorn is the starting point. If you look up Manicorn short film, seriously one of the greatest short films ever made. So when I applied for a job, so when I first moved to LA, sorry, I'll stop telling stories soon. When I first moved to LA, there was a job at Legion M as their social media manager, and I applied to it. I kind of knew some of the people involved a little bit. And I was like, oh, hey, maybe I'm going to apply for this job. And he's like, cool, yeah. I was like, I don't really have that much social media experience, but they're like, yeah, apply, see what you got. And I applied, and I didn't get the job in the end, but they were like, can we meet up with you? Because the main guy lives in San Francisco. He's like, I'm going to be in LA, around this time. Can I just like meet up with you? And can we just talk about stuff? And I was like, sure. And the first thing that they said was like, everybody that was reviewing the applications, because they were like, recommend something that you like, recommend a video that you like, or something like that. It was just like, give us a link to something that you want us to look at, not of your own necessarily, just something. And I sent them Manicorn, and they were like, everybody like was obsessed with this film, like they all like loved it. So yeah, this is the feature. This is a shot for the feature, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty dark looking. It's crazy. It's kind of noir-y, actually. The original is kind of a wacky thing. This one is a little more. Not that it's serious, but it's noir-y. I think it'll be a really fun movie. So, anyway,
He poured water on my head. That's real water.
Real water.
So I looked wet. Yeah.
Genuine water.
Behind the scenes.
I love BTS.
Oh, what I was getting at was I forgot where the story started, which was that we recently had to go. Michael St. Michael's is playing. So Manicorn, the guy, Manny is the character's name. He has a spirit guide, kind of guardian angel character, who is actually his dog. The dog is disguised. Like, it's basically his spirit guide who has been disguised as his dog his whole life and trying to kind of help guide him. And he kind of thinks he's an idiot. The dog thinks Manny is an idiot, but he's trying to help him anyway. And Michael St. Michael's is playing the dog. He does the voice of the dog character. So we recorded all of Michael's audio with him recently for that. And Jim was very excited. I was like, I hope you like it. And Jim was over the moon with hearing Michael do the voice of the dog. So I think that's gonna be really fun. Having Michael throughout the movie is like basically this guy's sidekick, like yelling. He kind of yells at him the whole time. Like, he kind of is like, you're an idiot. Like, what the fuck are you doing? So that's Michael basically the whole movie.
Sounds like real Michael.
Yeah, so we did that with him, and we are gonna go resume and we've been shooting interview stuff with him as well. Try to get some things. I'm helping him on, I guess, a secret project, but I'm trying to help him with that. And so we'll be seeing Michael a bunch, and then we'll film for your movie.
And by the way, Alex, you said you love BTS. So when we were doing End Zone 2, I was coming out to play Backwoods Bob. And Michael asked me, like, will you do the BTS too? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. I actually didn't even know what that meant. So I went and Googled it after I agreed to do it. And I was like, oh, behind the scenes, that's fine. I didn't agree to do anything, horrendous.
Questionable.
Yeah,
And you
yeah,
did like a
nothing questionable.
4.5 hour cut
Yeah,
of all
yeah,
that
right.
BTS.
Yeah.
Well, you
Yeah,
filmed
we-
you filmed almost 30 hours of stuff, and then
Yeah, I
I
filmed
cut it.
a lot.
I had the godforsaken task of trying to cut it down. So
It was there 6 days. Yeah, so now
Yeah.
I didn't know like when I'm filming it because I'm not. You don't know when something good might happen. So there is stuff of nothing happening.
yeah,
But
Now,
most of
Neil,
it's
with
gold.
these guys, there's always something
Yes,
happening.
you know that if you had looked that up and it had been something horrendous that you agreed to, Michael would have held you to that.
Yeah,
that's my trick for the future is to try to like confuse people into doing horrendous things.
And then Trista Robinson afterwards, she said, "That's the LA way. Just lie and just say yes to anything."
Yeah,
that's correct.
Well, that's you hear all these stories of actors. They're like, "Oh, can you ride horses?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, yeah, I always ride horses." We Leah Thompson was at the Jaws 3 screening a while ago, and she apparently the call was for like somebody who was like really like almost an expert in water skiing, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I can apply for this," and she applied and got the part. And then she's like, "I got to go take water skiing lessons." And I had to learn to water ski for the movie, basically. So she had a few months to like just basically train to like she didn't tell them, but she just spent the whole time learning how to water ski.
Yeah,
it works.
Yeah, I mean,
3D is fantastic.
As much as the movie works at all, she is in it.
They're like, Leah, can you come to a meeting about the script on Wednesday? No, my water skiing lessons are that. Oh shit.
Yeah, exactly. So she's it's good.
Yes. So you have to take some witchcraft lessons soon. For
I
part
do.
16 or
Yeah.
17.
Yeah. I think I know
I
about.
can teach you if you don't.
Here's the thing. Based on the first 4 movies, I know more witchcraft than is in those movies, so I'm fine. I'm good.
I have a Ouija board around here somewhere.
Yeah.
Don't
I
bring
guess
that out on this call. It's going to become host pretty soon.
The movies would have been better off being called Warlock, but I guess there was already Warlock, so that's
already a couple.
Though I don't know, the first Witchcraft came out before Warlock did. So, but you know what? He's not really in it till the second one. He's a baby in the first one, but the rest are pretty much Warlock movies, and they're not even. There's barely any like witchcraft in them. It's. I'm a little mad about it, to be honest. I've got 12 more movies to be mad about, and then
I'm sure they just keep getting better. That's usually how these.
Maybe it's like a roller coaster. Maybe there's a little dip, and then you come back up.
Oh yeah, part 17 or part 12 is the best.
If Halloween 3 is any indicator, then Witchcraft 8 is going to be a banger. So
yeah, that's true.
We'll see.
Maybe he'll take Manhattan, or like takes Manhattan in part 8.
Maybe he will.
Yeah. All right. So I will, Neil. We'll let you go. Thank you for
I've got about
having us on.
Drink.
Thank you for having us on.
Good night, Neil. Thank you for
Yeah,
having
thanks
us.
for everyone doing this, and we'll do this again sometime if you want to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Always down.
Thanks, Alex and Jeremy, for joining me and making it easier for me to talk about the thing, so I don't have to just rant the whole
And the
time.
earrings are amazing.
Thank you. They glow in the dark.
No, they're even better.
Exactly. I'll find my way through the Witchcraft sequels.
They remind me. I had a Dark Shadows board game when I was a kid. Who's the guy from Dark Shadows? Barnabas Collins.
Barnabas.
And it had nothing to do with Barnabas Collins. He was on the cover of the board game, but it was skeletons that you put together on. I don't exactly know what you did, but
yeah,
it had absolutely nothing to do with him other than he was on the cover of the board game.
Well, he wasn't in the first like 5,000 episodes, so
maybe,
he wasn't. No, he really wasn't. Yeah.
I'll have to find it on eBay.
Yeah.
See what it's going for.
Yeah, it was probably worth a lot now. I don't know. I don't think I still have it, but those 5,000 episodes aren't going to watch themselves, Michael.
No, I'm not. I did watch probably like 30 episodes of because they release like box sets, but it's only when he starts being on the show. Nobody's like nobody cares about the show before that.
Watch like 1,200 episodes.
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, it's like it really is a lot. I'm exaggerating 5,000, but it is a lot. It's like
it's like 5 days a week for years.
I think it's over 1,000. Now I just got to look this up. Sorry.
Leave no stone unturned.
And don't forget to tune in 15 minutes for the Vinegar Syndrome sale.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh that's my credit card's already out. Well, thank you.
Okay, sorry, it's only episode 210. So there are 209 episodes before Barnabas.
Yeah, that's doable. You can watch
so
all those.
I
in your
could watch.
time.
They're only like 30 minutes, right?
Oh, I thought they were
Yeah,
an
you
hour.
could bang
All
through
right.
5 in that.
I'm not sure. I'm not actually
That's,
not sure.
that's only 50 hours.
You don't have
That's
to
no
sleep
problem.
tonight.
Yeah.
Or for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they're only a half hour, it's only 105.
Probably 20
5
minutes
hours.
without ads. So.
That's true. It's a good point. You make
It-
good
it's
points.
getting
All right.
better all the
You're
time.
trying to shave too many minutes off.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
Fair enough.
do this. That's where I have to draw the line. But I did watch like 30 episodes with Barnabas, and it was fine. I that's fine. I don't need to watch more.
You
so.
got the gist.
I got the gist. Oh, they
Alright.
do have the beginning. Sorry, I just looked it up.
That's
They do have the beginning episodes on. You can watch it all on Tubi. 22 minutes each. So
you're
you
all
can-
set,
you-
Mike.
I'm gonna go. Okay, I gotta go.
As soon as Witchcraft's over.
As soon as Witchcraft's done, I'll be watching all 15,000 episodes of Dark Shadows.
All right.
But
All right.
See you guys.
one-
Play us
Good night.
Music of the
Good night,
month.
guys.
Beach Creepers.
Take
Good
care.
night. Bye.
Bye bye.